he and I put together. You guys are going to get a pretty sweet freebie today, so don't go anywhere. Um, it, I can't believe we're doing it, to be honest. It is going to be a freebie for all the opening playbook attendees. So you showed up on the right day here, this beautiful Tuesday morning. Awesome. Hey, Terry. Hey, Susan. Hey, Carlos. Dad iPhone. Good to see you. There is Nate.
Good morning, everyone.
Nate's here. We'll get this party started in just a second. Now, Nate, I was just telling him that we've got a little special freebie
Yeah,
for folks. I don't know if we're doing it today or later this week, but special surprise for the opening playbook members.
yeah, I can share it. I can share it here in a minute. Obviously, it comes with the full disclaimer. We're just working on this. We're just starting to optimize it. So, it is very much a sneak peek into something that we've been working on, and not something that is, fully developed. Which is why, if you guys want to jump in, you can sneak your way into this Telegram channel. Now, what we've got going. So, Graham and I, and actually a couple other guys from the team have been talking about this for a couple months. We've developed a couple indicators, a couple pieces of data around this that we think are really solid. And what we were looking for is just something that would give us kind of an intraday, high probability with a good chunk of profit opportunity. Because I don't trade a lot of stuff like intraday. I'm pretty much either overnights or across a couple weeks. But there's been so much volatility during the day, so many good opportunities just to grab some momentum. And so we've been trying to develop a good framework for that, and been trading it for just a little while now. And so we had created this little Telegram channel just with our team members to share the trades, track the trades. And I thought, why not just invite a couple people while it's kind of in the beta mode, just to see it with us. You could paper trade it, you could just follow along, whatever makes the most sense for you. So if you want to jump in on that, there's a private Telegram channel we created. I just posted the link in there for everyone. And you can pop right. As a matter of fact, we have a trade that just got filled on a morning breakout today that you could probably still take if you just screw up and see the last couple posts I made. You'll actually see a trade alert that you could jump into today, or like I said, paper trade it. This is not meant to say like, hey, guaranteed winners jump on board. We're still optimizing some of the details around this, still optimizing some entry and exit criteria and stuff like this. But we really like what we've seen from the data. And I think a lot of people are looking for those kind of intraday opportunities while the market's moving all around. Maybe you're like me, you're kind of sitting on the sidelines a lot during the intraday action, but you want to try to take a little piece of profit when you can. And so this is just an easy way to do that. Jump in, take a look at what we've got going on here and track it yourself, or take some of the trades or paper trade them. And as we continue to optimize this, we'll keep you in the loop, and hopefully really, have a concrete active opportunity over the course of the next, couple weeks, couple months here that you guys can take full advantage of.
Awesome. I'm gonna just post it in my Telegram. One more invite for people to show up today because I'm not gonna post that link in Telegram. I'm just gonna share it here in the chat. So it's important people show up. All right, my Thinkorswim just crashed, so just give me a minute. I gotta pull this back up, restart it, and then we'll get the show rolling. Kathy, if you can't see, you might have to click screen view.
By the way, so far financial earnings been pretty solid. In the financials, you don't expect huge moves, but PNC was fairly solid last week, or yesterday. Wow, last week. PNC was fairly solid. We had a pre-market with. Oh no, that was PNC today. Who's M&T? I think yesterday. A lot of just 2%, 3% positive moves. I think this XLF as a sector is up about 1.5% today. And so I think that's going to be a good sign if the financial sector can kind of be a good, stable, high performing sector. Normally, when the market is strong, financials are one of those like kind of top performing. They're not communications or technology where they're ripping higher, but they're normally like a very solid performer that helps drive the market. You very rarely see financials suffering while the market is doing well. So hopefully continue to get some positives on the financials. The earnings look good. The buyers are interested, and that'll help kind of carve out a base here and give us some optimism going forward.
Nate, do you have Thinkorswim open on your end?
Yeah,
Is it working for you?
so far, yeah, working for me.
Mine is freaking out. Let me do this. Just restarting it one more time. Got an error message when doing it again. All right. Let me pull up my screen here again. Again, guys, we have a little test going on here. Private Telegram channel going with trade alerts. It's free. We want you guys to come join us and test it with us as we optimize it. Here's the channel. There we go. Post it in the chat. Hopefully you guys join that channel. Again, no strings attached to get in there. Get some trades, get some commentary, some options, everything you need. It'd be a lot of fun.
The only string attached is that if you're in there and you make money, we're going to ask you for feedback and
True.
try to build our little reservoir here of proving this thing out. So take trades if you want, just paper trade them, take screenshots of your brokerage when you get into a trade, track your results, all that good stuff. Because we want to actually turn this into a high performing system that we can have some good data behind and some proof. So by all means, jump in there. Again, whatever you're comfortable with, paper trade one contract, but make sure you're tracking your results because we're going to, come back asking for good feedback.
This says, Nate, I think I'm going to restart my computer if you don't mind holding on the fort for a second.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
All right, I'll be right back, guys.
All right, how's everyone else doing? We got Scott, Doug, Carmen, Mike in here, Stacy and David. Hello. Kathy, Deborah. Yes, here I will post it to you here. There you go. Hey Henry, how are you? Let's see who else we got in here. Carlos, good morning. And Dan, hello. I think Cindy's in here. Hi Mike. Okay, so Daryl, if you want to trade it without the spread, so if you guys want to trade the morning breakout without the spreads, here's what you do. You take the same call option that we bought. Okay, so if you see my trade here, I'll give you the example real quick here. Let me just share the screen. I'll show you this trade. All right, so let me just move this over. Okay, so this is, I'll try to make that bigger. I guess I can't make it any bigger than that. Oh, well. So this is the trade that I put on. I said, hey, our top choice today is going to be IWM. We tried to get filled here. We didn't, not filled, updated the trade, then we got filled. And the trade was a bullish risk-defined debit spread on IWM. Buy the 188 call, sell the 189 call. It's about 50 cents. So if you wanted to take that trade with just the regular call, you would just ignore the second piece of the trade and you would buy the 188 call. But there's one other important difference here that I would recommend, which is not buying the 0-day DTE, but adding 5 to 7 days on that. Because with a regular call, your time decay is going to be super, super aggressive. And so on the 0 DTE, I don't care about that with the debit spread. But if I'm doing a regular call, I don't want to fight that time decay too aggressively. And so take the same strike that we took right here and then just add 5 to 7 days if you want to trade it. Now, obviously, you're going to pay more money because those calls are going to be a lot more expensive than the debit spread, which is one of the reasons I love the debit spread. But again, not everyone wants to trade spreads. So you just ignore this, add some days, and take the call. Does that make sense? Daryl, for how to jump on that if you want to just take the regular call. And of course, the put would be the same thing. You would buy the same put that we're buying and just add some days till expiration. Morning, Thomas. Morning, Mike.
Nate, can you hear me and see me?
Yes, sir, I can.
Think we're
Kale
having
asked,
trouble.
sorry, are you good?
Yeah, we're having internet issues over here in the office, I think. Sorry about that.
Oh, all good. Kale asked what the amount that we'd increase to jump into a trade. My rule of thumb is about 5 pennies. So about 5 cents is about as much as I would chase it. And then from there, let one get away from you and don't worry about it. Ignoring a trade that doesn't fill is no problem. Sometimes those happen, especially on these day trades, and you just got to discipline yourself that you're not going to chase it to the moon. Like, for example, today's a good example. IWM is already up 1.16% on the day. So, it gets up 1.4% on the day. You probably don't want to be chasing it too much and needing a 2% move in the IWM to get yourself into a winning position. Dan, for the percentage profit, normally in the 40-50% range, there is a little doc I posted up here. If you guys are still looking at my screen, this little document right here just has a couple handy dandy notes that we're building out. Again, we're very early in the actual like live trading optimization. We've been doing the data, the testing, and building the indicator for a couple months, but really just in the pretty early stages here of the live trading. And that's why we thought, you know what, we normally just do this as a team, kind of privately, and put together some feedback and some track record. But why not just invite you guys? We've got the opening playbook group right here. You guys are following along with what we're doing anyway. We know that you're serious and you're action takers. Why not just let you jump into the channel and count on you to provide some feedback and help us optimize this so we can really build a robust system that doesn't just work for Graham and I, but actually, works for regular people with all different size accounts. And so for now, we're going to keep this channel private just to the people that we invite through our telegrams and places like that. And then as we get to a place where we feel really confident about it, obviously we'll move on to the next steps and kind of develop an official system around it, which I'm pretty pumped about because, like I said, I don't do a lot of this kind of active intraday trading. Something kind of missing in my arsenal that I wanted to take advantage of with all this intraday momentum that we've been getting lately. So I'll post that link one more time and then I'll shut up and let Graham get into because I know he's packed a whole bunch of stuff for you guys today. So let me post this Telegram channel one more time for you. All you do is click that, add yourself to the channel, and you'll be able to get all of the live trades. Me and Graham are both in that channel, going back and forth different days. Some days I'll be really active, other days he'll be really active, and we'll just make sure that we give you the opportunities as we see them.
Awesome. Nate, can you still hear me?
Yes, sir.
I can hear you, but my computer says no internet. Thinkorswim isn't working. Things are great over here.
Oh, jeez.
Well, at the very least, at least I have my slide presentation prepared for you guys. I was hoping to give you guys some trades. It says login is unavailable. All right, well, we'll see where we go from here. But let me go ahead and pull up my screen. Again, just let me know, guys, if this goes out. We seem to be having some sort of internet issue this morning here at the office, which is okay. All right, Nate just posted that.
While you're doing that, I'm going to go get myself a coffee.
Perfect. All right, sweet. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Today, we normally do the overall market breakdown and outlook. We look at the numbers and try and get an idea for where things may be going from here. Now, I'll always start out with a telegram of the week. This is what I posted in my telegram. I'll post that link in here. If you're not in my telegram, I give freebies, bonuses, trades, commentary right away every time I see something. So that's there in Telegram. This was our gold play. Gold is up about $150 on the futures since this post, which is about a 3% move on gold. And that was posted in Telegram. But speaking of gold, we also took a trade on it last week. On gold with the wrap order training session. And there you see it's up nicely. The gold position is looking like gold. And finally, our opening playbook trades are bouncing back. We've got one loser up here right now with ISRG. But for the rest of them, looking good, especially those financials too as well. So that's good to see. It's nice to see that after such a horrific couple of weeks where the markets were just in absolute shock and turmoil, dropping 5% on a normal day. We're bouncing back nicely. So it's good to get some of these winners back on the board. Hope you've been taking the trades and having fun. And if you haven't been taking the trades, at least I hope you've been having fun and learning something. The recording for that session that we did, it was last Thursday. It will be on the YouTube channel, Financial Wars. Let me get a link for that for you. I'll post our YouTube. This is where all of the replays end up. I think we stream on there too. But here's where all the replays will show up. If you just subscribe to that channel, you'll catch all the replays. Now, for our usual morning market update, I normally pull up a more recent screenshot here, but since Thinkorswim isn't cooperating with me this morning, here's what I got from the market open. Everything opening slightly higher, with the exception of bonds mostly flat. QQQ up 0.75% and Bitcoin up almost 2%. Look at that, 86 on the futures price, which is one of the better readings we've seen in a while for Bitcoin. So this looks good. It looks a little bit more stable in the markets. However, as I'll show you in just a moment, I really don't believe that I can use that word stable just yet because there's so much uncertainty still ahead. But right now, things are looking good. They're bouncing back nicely, which is nice to see. Now, in the news upcoming this week, I'll cover earnings here in a minute, but for economic news, nothing today. We have retail sales tomorrow morning before the market opens, and then Powell is speaking tomorrow afternoon. So probably some volatility there, but I think that we've all seen over the last week or so that the main volatility has been coming from the White House. So that's what people are really paying attention to right now. We also have jobless claims on Thursday. And as a reminder, guys, this is really important. Friday is Good Friday. We have Easter coming up on Sunday. Awesome day, one of my favorite days of the year. But the markets are closed on Friday, so make sure you know that. Don't go to the market close on Thursday thinking you have another day to set your trades before the weekend. Nope. Thursday is the final day. It is also options expiration day. So make sure you're all good, all squared away before the close on Thursday because Friday markets are closed and we get a nice long weekend as well. Coming up next week, not a ton of economic headlines. The biggest one to me, again, is just jobless claims on Thursday, but I don't see any of these reports really moving the markets that much. Now, for the charts of the week, again, I always try and pull some bullish, bearish, all sorts of charts that I see that I find intriguing and interesting for you guys to see and digest. This is a really interesting one. People are saying that EPS will go down from here, especially over this earnings season, to expect the earnings per share or the earnings expectations to drop, which definitely could happen. I think we're all kind of anticipating at least revisions downward. Here's an interesting thing. Wall Street is always looking 6 to 12 months ahead. So yes, earnings may drop this quarter. They may not, but let's say they do. Wall Street is always looking ahead. What's coming up in the next quarter, in the following quarter. So typically what that means is that the S&P typically bottoms about 9 months before we actually get into this earnings recession area. So I'm not saying that we're at the bottom now, that we've already seen it. Obviously, again, what's coming out of the White House is the most important thing right now. But if we do get these earnings revisions downward, that does not mean that we're going to trade it downwards from there because Wall Street's always looking ahead, pricing into what's coming next in the next 6 to 12 months. So here's a fun little chart for you to show that when EPS hits the low, it's normally 9 months after that market has already hit in the low. So you always want to be trading looking forward. Here's some fun gold charts for you. I showed this in yesterday's session. This was shocking to me. Everyone remembers how much stocks ripped out of the COVID market crash, right? Just went insane, parabolic. Nothing else kept up. Well, now gold has officially surpassed the gain since the COVID bottom. So right now, if you bought in March 20th or whatever the bottom was of COVID, you would be better off buying gold than the S&P, which to me is just shocking considering how overdone the market seemed for so long. Gold has just crossed higher. Pretty crazy. And that has Goldman Sachs raising their gold estimates. They have their price forecast for this year at 3,700. We're about 3,200 now. So that'd be about a 15% increase from here in the price. They have an upside range of 4,500. So everybody's anticipating gold to go higher this year, and I am as well. I told you guys this on yesterday's session. I've also showed you this chart a few weeks. Gold typically has these outsized annual gains in pairs of 2 to 3 years. So if we look at this, 1972, 1973, 1974, 3 years in a row, 3 years of outsized gains. 1978, 1979, 2 years in a row, 2 years of outsized gains. 2007, skip 2008 because the market crashed. But, still 3 out of 4 years, 2007, 2009, 2010. Look at these gains. Same thing with this was just a 1 year, so this was a 1 year one. But 2024, bullish year for gold. I think we'll get another bullish finish. Obviously, it's off to a great start already, but I think we'll get another 20% plus year in gold this year, and that's why I've been so adamant on gold, buying gold, holding gold. Now, I think there is going to be a point, and I've told you guys this, that I've been wanting to start selling some of my gold and put it into stocks, and stocks are trading at a discount and gold is trading at a premium. But it's definitely a great asset to be applying your options on right now. We did that in Thursday's session. It's up 85% so far on the wrap order. So Doesn't have anything to do with the S&P, NASDAQ, but gold looks like a really juicy investment right now. Goldman Sachs agrees. Now, for our overall market overview, let's look at last week, what happened. Well, last week I didn't give you a specific chart. It was the first time I had. Normally, I draw up a chart with you and draw some arrows and everything. I didn't give you one of those last week. I said long-term investors. I shouldn't use gold. I should say, because I don't want to confuse you. Great opportunity. Anytime you can buy some of these amazing stocks like Apple, Amazon, Nvidia, Meta, trading at a massive discount, 30% off their highs, 40% off their highs. That in the long term is going to be one of the best buying opportunities in my opinion. So for me personally, I started moving my money out of the S&P, out of my more safer assets and into these more speculative plays, the tech plays that tend to bounce stronger than the rest of the market. Another stock I really like is GEV as well. Now, I also gave you guys Carvana, and I'm not going to lie, I sold Carvana for about a 10% gain on the stock. The thing has just been so volatile, but that one is still looking really good too. I don't own it. I wish I held it a little bit long. I think I sold it 205. It was at 219 this morning, but that thing is it's a normal for it to move 5 to 10% in a day. But that said, long-term investors, I think this is a great buying opportunity. That gold trade was the wrap order, yes. Now, for the short-term investors, right now, I told you guys it was a coin flip. We were definitely short-term overextended to the downside. We expected a pop, but it was just so unpredictable with the news, catalyst, tariffs, China. You guys know the deal. And I didn't want to load up one way or the other. So I'm still trading, but I'm just trading smaller positions right now until we get some clarity and some clear trends starting to form. But again, for those long-term investors, great time to be buying some of these stocks. And I'll just say this one more time. I've said it in a couple of our classes. Nvidia 40% off the peaks. That means it's down 40%. Round up with me. Down 40%. That doesn't mean if you buy now and it goes back to all-time highs, you're up 40%. No, your gains are actually bigger going back up than they are coming down. So Nvidia going back to all-time highs from this point, from this screenshot, was about a 60% return. So take these numbers here and multiply it by about 1.5, roughly speaking, you'll get an idea of what the upside looks like for these stocks. So Meta trading 31% off the highs. That means it's about 45% upside back to all-time highs. That's obviously just outstanding return, or would be if it happens. Now, where are we now? Here we are, kind of in no man's land. This was the day that Liberation Day, Trump announced all the tariffs. He held up that big poster. Let me just put this little guy on it for you. Right here. Can everyone see that? It's a tiny little circle I just drew. Make it blue or something. That might have been a little bit big. So that was when markets closed. Trump announces tariffs. Bam, bam. We had that huge day just the other day when we were talking about exemptions, and I forget what the exact headline was, but a 10% day, one of the biggest days in market history. And now we have we've consolidated since then back to where we were day after tariffs were announced. So we haven't really picked a direction from here. So where do we go from here? That's a big question. Well, we look at this fear and greed index every single week. It tells us what sentiment is like in the markets. We had the reading down at 4 just last week, which was one of the lowest readings I have personally ever seen. And now we're starting to climb back out of extreme fear territory. We'll see where it goes from here. Again, it's just all news driven. For the CPC, this tells us how many puts are being traded compared to calls. When we get a reading above 1, that's typically a good time to buy. A reading down here in the 7.5s is typically a good time to start taking some profits. Look at this, guys. Look how crazy this is. We went from a reading near 7.5 to way above 1 to just below 7, or just right near 7.5 again, and now we're back above 1. This is volatility in the put to call ratio, unlike things I've seen in a long time. This to me just tells me that options traders, market makers, they're not exactly certain what's going to happen next either. We're getting these massive swings in either direction versus kind of like here you see a steady chug lower, which means the market should be going higher. Market makers are anticipating all-time highs, and that's what happened in February. Here we're getting a very bullish reading, a very bearish reading, a very bullish reading, a very bearish reading. Just all over the place, no clear direction. Now, on the other hand, and this kind of goes back to what I was saying about long-term investors, if we're looking at the overall market under the hood, looking at the engine of the market, I like to look at 2 different readings. One tells us the percentage of stocks trading above the 50-day moving average. In other words, what stocks are probably chugging higher and higher. Well, right now, we dipped down to 5% last week. That was one of the most extreme readings we've had in a long time. Typically, if you get under 10, it's a great, great buying opportunity for long term, but even for swing trading as well. We're starting to climb. We just popped above 15% of stocks, but think about that. That means that if you take five stocks, four of them are trading lower, one of them is trading higher. So again, market sentiment is still overall bearish. We're still below the 200-day moving average, so that's not a shocker there. And let's look at the stocks. Percentage of stocks trading below their 200-day moving average. Again, last week we had that reading below 15. Very, very overextended to the downside. We've been popping back since then, but still only a quarter of stocks are trading above their 200-day moving average. So the opportunity, what this means to me essentially is that we were overextended. The opportunity is now coming alive to start adding some of these longer term positions. Seasonally speaking, here's the S&P average return by month. Now, this is not a standard market. Typically, we can look at these trends and patterns to kind of get a gauge of what might happen next, but that's under normal conditions. These last 6 weeks have been anything but normal conditions, and you guys know that. So take this with a grain of salt. April's typically the best month of the year to be long stocks, but we are so news driven right now that seasonality doesn't matter so much to me as it otherwise would. Now, here in our presidential cycle, we are still way down here. If I can draw this, I'll add to it. And it's totally now bucking, starting to look like it's bucking the trend of typical presidential seasonality. Again, with seasonals, we can use these as a great gauge and a map for us when things are normal. Again, this has been one of the wildest rides with the tariffs and probably one of the more confusing times with government policy. Now, I'm hopeful that they will work. I'm hopeful that the U.S. will get some good deals, maybe some good revenue, but overall better export deals for us. However, right now it's pretty uncertain as to one day there's tariffs on, one day they're off, one day there's exemptions, one day there's not. There's rumors, there's leaks, there's fake news, and then there's real announcements, and it's all very, very confusing right now. And I think that's why the market's just having a really, really hard time picking a direction because nobody really knows what's true or not, or what's going to stick, or what's going to be temporary. We are supposed to get more news this week on what's going on with the semiconductor tariffs, what's going on with the smartphone tariffs, which will be big plays on Nvidia and Apple. We already saw Apple bounce back very aggressively yesterday, sold off a bit from there, but we'll see what happens here as the White House starts announcing these official tariff updates for us. Now, for the upcoming prediction, you might look at this. I saw this morning. S&P 500 forms the death cross, which is a technical setup where the 50-day drops below the 200-day moving average. That can mean a bear market's coming. It can be a sell signal. However, I'm going ahead and slashing that out again because I don't think technicals really matter so much. I don't think seasonals matter so much right now. All that matters is what the White House is going to say. Again, it's very, very hard to get a gauge of what's going on. There's no clear trend here. It's all news related. So my point is, be smart. Be smart with your position sizing. We don't know what's going to come next. One bad news day could send the markets down another 5% in a single day. We've seen that happen over and over again. One good news day could send it up 5, maybe 8% in a day. We've seen that happen. But hey, if you want to gamble, go in heavy, be my guest. But what I'm doing is I'm being smart. I'm just trading with a lighter position side. I'm not going to get greedy if we see one of those huge updates. We saw that huge update in the S&P the other week or last week, that 10% day. A lot of folks probably got excited, greedy, said, oh my gosh, we're about to rip from here and loaded up the boat just to see us come right back down from there. So again, be smart. There will be a better time, a more clear time to load up or increase your position sizing. For me right now, this is not the time for that. So for earnings, we're officially back into earnings. We have banks right now, which again, like Nate alluded to earlier, the overall bank earnings have been positive. Looks good, looks healthy. We also have Progressive on Wednesday, which is one of my favorite companies. However, keep in mind, it doesn't normally move that much on earnings. I think it's a 2% implied move, hardly anything. A big mover this week will be Netflix on Thursday after the close. Now, what's interesting to me about this is the markets are closed on Friday, right? I'll just say that again because I know we have a lot more people who have joined here. Markets are closed on Friday. Make sure your trades are set and done by Thursday. There will be no trading on Friday. So Netflix has their earnings after the close on Thursday, which means they have a long weekend until the markets open up again. So I'm going to be very interested to see, let's say Netflix pops on earnings, if it can hold it over the weekend, because I anticipate the more time the news is out there without the markets open, it'll fizzle down and to the inverse the other way. That'll just be something to keep an eye on there. I haven't really seen a one of the large cap stocks have earnings going into a three or a long weekend. So that'll be fun. As for the sector view, again, seasonally, very strong month for April. For looking at April, breaking down each of the sectors here, you can see it's a very, very bullish time to be long. Pretty much any sector. However, again, I'm just taking this with a grain of salt right now, knowing that the uh, the news is driving everything. Now, for last week, here were our sectors that we liked. We liked the utilities, which have been paying us nicely, right? We took a trade yesterday on some utility stocks. Those are up nicely. We did financials, MasterCard, Visa, paying us nicely. And communications. We actually have T-Mobile now up for us. Again, here's how we're trading so far. T-Mobile looking nice. Dr. Pepper is more of a staple, but CNP, MasterCard, Visa, all working out for us so far. The reason we picked those stocks is because they were in the strongest sectors. Now, I just realized I haven't updated yet this week's sector update. So let's do that together really quick. And I'll even share the code with you guys here in the chat if you guys are okay with that. Is anyone not okay with me sharing that code? Any naysayers? All right, let me go to my Google Docs. I know I've done this before. Sector, strength, stock fetcher code. Here it comes. I'll show you how I pull it. Sharing is caring. Mike says, bam, there you go. If you don't have this code, I run it on Stock Fetcher. That's what this is. Let me go ahead and increase my screen size, and I'll walk you through it step by step, how I use it and how you can use it too. So the first thing here, I just sent you this link. Looks like a lot of people are already in it. You're just going to copy this formula. You're going to go to Stock Fetcher. You'll go to a new filter, create new filter. Did everyone see? Let me just go back to Stock Fetcher. So if you go to stockfetcher.com, I'll give you guys 30 seconds to get there. If you don't have an account, you can do a free version. I do the paid version. Me and Roger actually share it. I think it's like $7 a month. It's not expensive. Sharon says we won't tell. Thanks, Sharon. All right, stockfetcher.com. I'm going to come here to new filter. All right. I'm just going to type in here S&P sector strength. I'm putting delete here because I already have one. You don't have to put delete. So S&P sector strength. And then I'm going to take this code that I sent you. I'm going to copy it. So once I have it copied, I'm going to come back here, paste it in, then fetch stocks. You should get a table that looks like this. If you don't get a table, just click this button here that says table. Everyone up to speed so far? Now we're not done just yet. There's still one more step. This is just giving us the list here in no specific order of volume. That doesn't really matter to us. We want to see the average trend of the sector. So we're going to come over here to average percent. Click that. And now we can see the strongest to weakest sectors top to bottom. So I'm going to take this screenshot and paste it in here into our slideshow presentation here. Boom. Oh, I left the symbol out. Oh, well. So this week, and then I come here. I'll just take you through the whole thing since I obviously didn't do it. I totally forgot. Normally I mark my slides pink in the background so I know which ones to update. This one was not pink. So now I'm just going to paste this over here and just see what's changed. Same. Just a quick pivot here. So financials and utilities flipped. That's fine. Not a big deal. They're all still at the top. Communications still at the top as well. Energy made a dive lower. Good thing we cut out anything. That made a huge dive lower, falling, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots. We dumped energy last week. Ended up being good timing for us because that thing was way down. And then we'll keep going. XLI jumped 3 spots. So I'll give you guys this little reading. It's like, do you guys, I'm a sports guy. I like the NFL. Do you guys ever check the power rankings on the NFL? It basically looks like this. That's where I got the concept of the arrows. All right. Healthcare still the same. Real estate still the same. Uh, consumer or materials bumped 1 spot higher, and discretionary bumped 1 stock. Wow, 1 spot higher. All right, so here we go. Nothing crazy. We still have the same stocks that are the sectors that I like at the top. I'm not going to trade staples simply because this is going to be very tariff news related. It's going to be almost inverse to the consumer discretionary and tech. So if we do get bullish news for tech or discretionary, I bet you staples is going to fall off hard. I don't really want to play that game, so I'm going to stick with this same picks as last week, where we have financials, utilities, and communications as our top sectors for this week. What is X%1? So if we're looking here at the stock fetcher code, where did I put that thing? Good question. So you can see these columns here. These are custom columns. X%1, that just means what is the 1 month change? What is the change over the last 3 months? And what is the change over the last 6 months? And then we just average those 3 together to give a good idea, just kind of an average of what each of those buckets changed. So we don't want to just see a sector that just did good in 1 month. Well, in this case, not much changed. But let's look at 6 months. Now, it's still not much change. But discretionary is up here. See how discretionary is higher when reality is discretionary is not doing so good overall. So we want to make sure that we average the 3 out by hitting average percentage. No problem, Dan. Yes, that is the average percent. Can I share the stock fetcher code again? Did everyone get that code? I'll post it again in the chat just in case. But it looks like, yeah, a lot of people got it, so we're good. All right. Now I'm going to ask you guys to give me 1 more minute as I attempt to get Thinkorswim working again. Otherwise, I'm going to have to try to do my best here to find some trades for you guys without Thinkorswim, which is like next to impossible to really get the ones that I like the best. Susan, you can't copy and paste the code. Can everyone else copy and paste the code? John, Nate's here. He's just in the background, hiding. All right. For now, it looks like Thinkorswim's back up for me. So we're going to dive into the nitty gritty here. We're going to do some live trading. Oh, there's Nate. Hey, Nate. Again,
I got some coffee and then forgot to turn my camera back on.
Just hiding. We do have some open positions, so I'm not dying to add another 10 positions here, but I'm going to give you guys the usual round of Apex, Hot Sheet, and Momentum picks, and we're going to do it together. So starting off with Apex, let me go ahead and get this screen up here for you guys. This is our indicator to give me weekly breakouts on price action in certain stocks. Flip here over to Apex, and it only works on a weekly chart, but I'll show you how it works. So it works on these 14 stocks right now, and we'll be able to see here, blue up arrow means enter, right? And then on Apex, it gives us a profit target and stop loss. It's not a very pretty example just because here's a better example where you can see how it prints these profit targets and stop losses for you. Costco is technically an Apex signal right now. There was one yesterday. Oh, O'Reilly. This is one that we did. I think we traded O'Reilly, but maybe we didn't get filled. O'Reilly is just a beautiful stock right now. It's a beast. I mean, look at this trend on the stock. It's an Apex entry right now with O'Reilly of a target price of 15.21. The last time we traded, I believe, was right here, and it was a profit target price of 18.43 or 14.83. So we haven't hit that yet, but that could be a good first profit for you. And then a second profit up here. I'm going to keep flipping through these. I love Progressive. AJG has been a good one for us. almost at the profit target. We've traded this one quite a few times. Profit target 351 on Apex. I don't think Amazon's going to give us one. Nope. All right. So do we want to try to trade O'Reilly again? Let me take a look at the options. There's just not enough volume for O'Reilly right now for how I would like to trade it. But we can do progressive. So here's my Newton indicator too. So it shows you it's bullish on Newton. But also here's an Apex entry. It didn't hit the stop. Oh, it did hit the stop loss. Man. Low. Yep. So let's see AJG, my other insurance stock. All right, AJG looks good still. So we'll do AJG as our ticker. The profit target price is 351 on AJG. The stop loss price is 278 on AJG. Top signal. It's funny. We've been trading a lot of the same names over and over again, but I'll keep trading them as long as they keep paying. So let me now go to the options chain to take a look at where AJG could go next. And now this one, I'm going to go out to May. I don't think I have earnings turned on. Let me do this. I think this one will have earnings during that time. Yeah, it will. But again, it does not hardly move on earnings, typically speaking. So I feel comfortable with that. I'm going to go out to May. I'm just going to see if we can get filled here. Not a ton of volume. Open interest is, 600s, 500s, 300s. But I'm just going to set a limit order to see if we can get filled here on AJG. Prices aren't good on AJG. And this is funny, Nate. This is what we were talking about yesterday.
Exactly. I mean, you do a lot of work just to find an opportunity, and then a lot of times the option doesn't even line up for a good enough risk reward to put it on.
Yep. Oh, this is frustrating. So the frustrating thing I'm alluding to is we found these great stocks to trade, but the options aren't cooperating. There's a cool little way that I'll show you guys here in a minute how we're able to have a tool pick options for us, pick stocks for us. So it goes through like all of these stocks for us and just filters through every single option and finds one with enough liquidity and premium to get us an entry. Right now, I don't know if we're going to get an entry this week on options with any of these stocks. However, if you guys want to just take notes, the ones I like the best are O'Reilly and AJG are the two top Apex signals this week. I'm going to post O'Reilly here as well, just so you guys have it. I'll send this deck into Telegram. So make sure in Telegram so you guys can review. It'll have the profit target and stop price on there for you as well. So you can see, when you come to the deck, flip through, you can still have these numbers here that we talked about today. However, I am not going to take an options trade on it today just because of options liquidity isn't there. Now my screen just died on me, so everyone still see my screen? I'm having all sorts of computer issues today, Nate.
The funny thing is it looks normal from our end. You know what I mean? It doesn't look lagged out or messed up, and you sound fine. It's just
it's probably my cable or something. I don't know.
It thinks your internet's dead, but it's not.
It's funny. This is about the time, Nate, I lose about a computer every year. It's ridiculous. Oh wow, this is cool. I'm gonna show you guys something really cool here in a second. I've gone through 4 Microsoft Surfaces, and guys, I don't spare a penny when I buy these. I say, what's the best computer you have? Because I need it to run all sorts of programs, run all sorts of data, and they all last me about 12 months and then peter out. So I finally switched to a Mac. I said, what's the best one you got? They loaded me up, and it's been awesome until about today. So now I'm getting a little bit nervous as to what's really going on here. All right.
Funny story, when Graham wanted to upgrade to that Mac, he sent some info in, and then someone texted me and said, "Hey, Nate, just curious, do you know why Graham is requesting a $5,000 Mac from accounting?" I said, I think he went hard in the paint. He wanted to get something that wasn't going to crash.
That is exactly right. All righty. Well, this is cool. This is cool. Let's go ahead and take a look at the hot sheet pick of the week. This tells us what stock is seasonally strong. It looks for stocks that have gone up every year between certain dates for the last 10 years. So it takes 10 years of data and just finds the stocks that typically go higher during that period of time. And funny enough, look what's coming up on Thursday. So this is the 17th entry for the hot sheet, or for the on the clock stocks program, my seasonal trading program. AJG back up again. And I love it when a two different signals or systems come together. So we had an AJG bullish entry on Apex, and look at this, AJG bullish entry on our seasonality. So there's your seasonal pick for the week. 17th is the entry date technically, so Thursday, but if you want to try and enter today, feel free to do that. Again, you can use the stop loss and profit target. This here is going to tell you that AJG typically gains about 2.3% over the next month. So that's your hot sheet pick of the week. And as a bonus, does everyone want a bonus? I didn't give this one today because it's so news related, but also yesterday, Meta, formerly known as Facebook, Meta entered a seasonally bullish period. So Meta, I'll just type this in here. April 14th, entry, 19-day hold, and 4.3% average return on the stock. Again, that's seasonally speaking, but like I told you earlier, with a stock that's going to be a pretty volatile stock on tariff news. Take it with a grain of salt. If you love it, take it. I like Meta. I own Meta stock. I bought a bunch. Like I told you, I think this is a great long-term buying opportunity. Bought a bunch of Meta stock. For the long term, it's also seasonally bullish. So that is there in the chat for you guys as well. So now that I have Thinkorswim cooperating, let's go ahead and flip over to my Newton scanner and see. We should be able to get a trade here. Wow, Netflix is in fact rocketing above the 50-day moving average. So we just looked at the percentage of stocks trading above the 50-day moving average, and there was hardly any. Well, Meta is now one of them trading above. They do have earnings on Thursday. I'm not going to trade it. If you wanted to trade it, if you wanted to speculatively trade it, sorry, just looking back at previous earnings, you could have a little fun time and trade this Thursday's expiration. I would probably do a wrap order. And it will expire before earnings. But let's keep flipping through. Berkshire looks really good. Earnings on 5/2. Good liquidity, probably good enough to get filled. Let's take a look at Berkshire here. Been a great stock. Oops. It's a financial stock, which we like financials right now. It's nearing all-time highs. It's been very resilient. So if I were to trade Berkshire myself personally, let me just take a look at these options. Perfect pricing here. It needs about a 0.9% move higher from here for us to hit our profit. Now let me type this up for you guys. Oh shoot, what did I do? I just clicked something. I'm not even sure what I clicked. All right. Berkshire. Ticker is BRK/B. Is Berk A the one that's really expensive, Nate?
Yeah.
So I'm going to trade next week's expiration. Let's get this back over here.
What's B
Next
at right
week's-
now?
What's that?
What's B priced at right now?
534.
Yeah, because even that
Yeah.
one's
Oh wow.
gotten up there.
Berk A 800,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna buy shares, 3 shares of Berk A. No, just kidding. All right. Berk B, I'm going to do the 25th of April 25 expiration. And I'm personally going to buy, I'm just going to go here where the ones we just had selected. 535 call. And I'm going to sell the 540 call and look for a net debit of 250. Oh, good find, RV Hannings. RV found that the AJG options prices are lower on 718 than 516. So if you're looking out to July on AJG, that might be a better trade.
If only there was a tool that could just look through all of those and find those kind of
That's
little
right.
hacks with
Bold
better
one.
opportunities.
So I'm going to set here. I'm going to do 2 of them on Berkshire. I'm just betting that by this time next, or not this time, but by Friday next week, it will be above here. See where my crosshairs are? Just a slight budge higher to the all-time high range. And if so, if I'm getting filled here, I will double my investment. My $500 I'm going to put in here because I'm doing 2 contracts at 250 will double to $1,000. So I'm going to post that one here, or it's posted in the chat, and it'll be sitting there. We'll see if we get filled. I have to assume it will get filled eventually. It might not get filled the second, but now that Berkshire is now under our lower wrap, I have to imagine that it will get filled. But if not, let's keep digging through the Newton picks. Take 2 looks really good right now. I haven't traded this stock in a while. Nate, have you?
Sorry, I'm still looking at BRKB. I was trying to that stock was like 120 bucks not that long ago. It's
I know.
$534.
I know.
Crazy.
Take Two is a.
Oh, we did some earnings on this a couple years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I haven't traded it though, probably since then.
I'm gonna trade Take Two. Let me just flip. O'Reilly also a Newton entry. Again, love the double confirmation. All right, nothing else has really taken my eye away from Take Two. This is a communication services stock. Why might we like that? Well, remember, it's one of the strongest sectors right now. This is one that's been paying us over and over again. So here, and I'll post these in the slideshow once we're done. But here, Take Two. I'm going to trade it. I'm going to go to next Friday's expiration again. Let me just make sure. Yeah, earnings are way out till May. And now I'm going to look at these options prices and see what it can give us. And again, not the best prices in the world. Let me see what we can do if we go out just before earnings. What is that? May 15th? May 15th. So let's see what happens here. 208. These also aren't great prices here. As you can see, the volume today is NA. Open interest very low. All right, let me just get a trade here set up and we'll see if we get filled. So what I'm going to do is on Take Two, TTWO is a ticker, 25th of April, 25 expiration. I'm going to buy the 212.5 call and I'm going to sell the 215 call. And I'm going to look to pay a net debit. I saw it at 135. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to set it at. Here you go. Again, this isn't super liquid right now, so I'm just going to set a limit order so I don't end up overpaying. I'll try and get 3 of those. And this just is telling me that if Take Two Interactive finishes next Friday above here where my crosshairs are, I'll make about, I think it's about 85% return on investment. I don't have time to walk you through all the calculators today. I did that last Thursday. Catch the recording if you missed it. Really cool way to trade where we can get these outsized moves on barely a stock even budging. So let me go ahead and post this trade here. Take this trade. It's moving. I'm just going to let it set. I'm just going to set it. And if I don't get filled, I'm not going to rush in. Again, we already have like 8 open trades here. So I'm not dying to take more, but this does look like a great stock in a great sector. I like Take Two Interactive. Now, we just went on and on trying to find options on multiple stocks. Had a pretty okay time at it. Sometimes it's easier to find these entries. Sometimes the options are more liquid. But sometimes, like today with O'Reilly and AJG, we had a tough time. That's because we had to manually go through each of the options, manually check the prices, manually check the liquidity. And honestly, the numbers weren't that good. We kind of wasted some of our time on those. Well, that's why today I really, really want you guys to pay attention to what we're going to show you next. Please, please hang around. I just helped one of my former mentors build a tool that does everything we just did, but it automates it for us. So it goes to the stock selection, it finds the best stocks, and then it'll get that list of stocks, 10 to 15 stocks, and it will go through the options market for each and every one of those stocks and find the ones with the best liquidities, premiums, and volume for entry. So again, it does it all for you. And I forgot to mention, it also stress tests those options. So it does the numbers and runs the math for you, does the calculations for you to show how much it will pay if a stock goes up, sideways, or drops. All done for you. And then it just posts every morning the newest entries for you on a silver platter. So it just basically takes what we just spent our last 30 minutes doing, and it automates for us, and it finds the best entries. So it's probably today, if I had to guess, it probably found a stock, an entry that we didn't even have time to look at today. And it's given you the options criteria as well. So we're going to pull that up right now. This rolled out yesterday, Doug. We just announced it yesterday at 1 p.m. We are limiting spots to it. I believe half the spots are gone as of this morning. So there's only like 100 spots left. There's 340 people here in this room. So even if a third of you guys signed up, all the spots would be gone. So please pay attention as Sarah pulls this up and gets this rolling for us, guys. It's a really, really cool tool. It takes all the guesswork out of what we just did. Literally walk through it step by step there. This is going to do it all for you. It's one of a kind. I've never seen a tool like it that can select the options for you. So stay put. Again, limited spots. Hopefully we're all out of spots today. I want to give you guys an early sneak peek at it right now. The profits and performance shown today are not typical. You may lose money. We all know this, guys. The trades expressed are based on real-time signals from AutoStrike and trades that were taken in real time. So it's not a back test, nothing like that. This is real application here. Now, obviously, no one can guarantee future results. We're not genies. What you're going to see today are some of the best examples over the last few months. Now, there were bigger winners, there were smaller winners, and of course, there were losers too. But since AutoStrike is a tool for traders and not a trading service, the profits and performance will vary among users. So trade at your own risk, and you can go to the TradeWinds homepage if you want more information on that. Now, Chuck is going to be joining us here in just a moment. But first, let me just restate this, guys. There's going to be winners. There's going to be losers. The whole purpose of our research is to give you guys an edge. Our goal is to help you build that account over time. It's not going to be 100% win rate, but as you'll see today, it can have a very, very high likelihood of working out. But never go all in on any single position. You guys know this. Be smart with your investments. Now, my name is Graham Lindman, and I'm the senior options expert here at the Prosperity Pub. And before we get started, I have a quick question for you. Of the 63,192,780 options trading across all of the exchanges right now, 63 million of them, which ones give you the most attractive income opportunities? That's a pretty tough question to answer, right? I didn't even know there's 63 million out there until I did some research, pulled up, I said, holy cow, there are a lot of options to choose from. In fact, I'd argue that there hasn't been a way to answer that question since the inception of the options market. But that's until right now. Because in the next few minutes, my special guest and I will be unlocking a new trading breakthrough that we call AutoStrike. It's a next generation smart algo that automatically scans, selects, and sends you high probability options trade right to your computer or your phone. Now, what makes these automated signals so unique and so much better than most trading methods out there is that this particular income style of trade it's selecting is specifically designed to help us target extra cash in all sorts of market scenarios. I really mean that. It's great when stocks are roaring higher. It's even great when they're flat. And it even works when a stock falls as much as 10% plus in a few weeks. And boy, have we seen that happen lately. That's why this is so amazing right now. It means it doesn't really matter to us if stocks go into a full-on bear market from here or if they rally on to new highs. AutoStrike is designed to only pick options that can withstand a major market storm. And that allows us to trade with a really high accuracy rate while getting maximum bang for the buck. For example, let's go back to November and see what happened. Now, for example's sake, let's say someone had 5K invested. You don't need that much, but this is just for example. And that's how much we'll be referencing with every example unless otherwise stated. Now, in November, folks were very uncertain to say the least. We had the election season, we had Fed interest rate decisions, and global conflicts increasing. Now, naturally, the S&P 500 was falling with all of that fear in the headlines. Are you seeing October drifting down into the month of November? And in the first week of November, the number of put buyers exploded to levels we haven't seen in years. People were scared. They were buying protection on their account. But of course, none of that really mattered because on November 8th, AutoStrike generated a brand new income signal on CART, did it all for you. Selected the exact options criteria, the entry price, and the profitability all on its own. And in the case of CART, thanks to AutoStrike's built-in option selection features, this stock could have fallen as much as 13%, and it still would have paid you. Now, funny enough, in this example, the stock actually did take a big tumble that month, like a lot of stocks did, falling just north of 10% on the shares. Now, most folks trading directionally would have been wiped out. We'll call it $5,000 in losses on the options for most people. But with AutoStrike, because it does it all automatically for you and selects these great paying options, folks could have walked away unscathed with an extra $1,154 sitting in the account. Pretty impressive, right? Then anyone could have done it again on the next signal. on November 13th when AutoStrike generated a new income opportunity on NVIDIA, all done for you. And just like in the last example, with all of the market volatility, NVIDIA was hit pretty hard too, taking an 8.5% nosedive over the next few weeks. Now, most folks trading NVIDIA were probably looking at a big, fat, account sinking loser. No good. But with AutoStrike, it all changes because it handpicks the options for you. Anyone could have pocketed a $1,077 payday during that same time. Now, that's $1,000 in profit during one of the worst times to invest in the stock. That's obviously some really powerful stuff. Now, before you start guessing on what today's opportunity is all about, let me just assure you, AutoStrike is not some sort of short trading indicator that gets you to load up on puts, hoping for another big crash. We're not short trading here. It's not looking for expensive strangle or straddle options combinations that rely on stocks to constantly move in order to pay. That works good in sometimes, but not all market conditions. And unlike most bullish trading strategies, which have been getting decimated in the recent market drop, AutoStrike was specifically programmed to find the exact options that have the power to pay, regardless if stocks are moving higher, lower, or stuck for months, making it the bread and butter trade to take in all sorts of economic climates and political environments. Now, the core framework built into AutoStrike is based on a time-tested method that has dominated over the last 2 decades, with up to 96.2% accuracy on real money trading. Again, not back test, not coulda, woulda, shoulda. 96.2% accuracy on real trading. Now, that includes some trades during the dot-com crash, right? The 2000 dot-com crash, the 2008 financial crisis, even that 2022 nasty bear market that we all remember. That's 25 years in a row without a single down year on record. But now it's even better because starting today, AutoStrike automatically filters through all of the options available, those 63 million options, filters through all of them to handpick the best income opportunities for you, all automated, all in one place. With each automatic alert, including everything you need to trade on the go. It gives you the ticker, the exact options criteria, the entry price, and the full profitability schedule laid out for you. For example, let's take a look at what happened in December. Now, keep in mind, in December, inflation was ramping back up, and the Fed was completely changing their course on rate cuts. And that caused the S&P, the NASDAQ, and the Dow to take one of their worst tumbles of the whole entire year. However, with AutoStrike in your pocket, none of that really mattered. On December 9th, folks could have been out for a morning bicycle ride, checked in at any point during the day to catch the newest income trade on Meta. Again, the options criteria already generated for you. The system does everything for you. And then you could have taken about 2 minutes to set the trade. That's all you needed to do. And in this case, Meta could have gone to the moon. It could have moved sideways, or it could have fallen 10% or more and still paid big. Sure enough, Meta chopped around from there, yet anyone following along could have caught a $1,635 payday, all done for you. Then a few days later, you could have done it again. December 19th, maybe you were out enjoying a round of tennis with friends, and after the match wrapped up, caught the new income opportunity, this one on AVGO, automatically populated with options criteria included. Once again, it didn't matter if AVGO soared to new highs, went nowhere fast, or fell more than 10% over the coming weeks. This time, the stock actually did take a nosedive. There you see the charts, not pretty. But again, that didn't matter one bit. Folks falling AutoStrike could have seen a $1,236 payday. And with AutoStrike, we get these types of automated opportunities over and over again. For example, like the very next one, just one day after the AVGO signal, maybe you're out for an afternoon hike with the family, and when everyone took a water break, pull up the phone, check in, place a new options trade automatically sent right to you. Now, this one was on Palantir with an insane 26% downside protection built in. That means this stock could have fallen from the sky and still paid. Now, with that much wiggle room, folks could have placed a trade with a lot less stress than normal. So you confirm the entry, and then phone is back in the pocket. Now, sure enough, for Palantir, the share price popped higher from there, and folks following along could have pocketed a needle-moving $1,250 on the PLTR position. So if you want to be one of the first in the world to have a behind-the-scenes look at this incredible trading breakthrough, plus access to today's newest income opportunity, all generated for you, then stay tuned. Because by the end of this broadcast, a handful of folks will be able to jump in on the next income opportunity that AutoStrike has already flagged for you to take today. And it will allow you to target what could be the next great payday. So welcome to the world premiere of the Auto Strike Options Summit. Now, like I mentioned a moment ago, my name is Graham Lindman, and you might recognize me from my flagship strategy, the Perfect Apple Trade, which has reached over 100,000 people worldwide. Or maybe you've heard of my famous wrap orders, which has helped folks see doubles in their trading. Now, as much as I'd love to take all of the credit and tell you that I'm a self-made six-figure trader who figured it out all on my own, well, that would simply not be the truth. We all have mentors and coaches along the way. And my trading career really took off about half a decade ago, meeting one-on-one with one of the greatest traders of our lifetime. His name is Chuck Hughes. Now, Chuck got started in the markets back in the 1980s with just $4,600, very small amount. And in his first year of trading, the profits totaled over $69,000. And as his account grew, so did his profits, earning a whopping $391,000 in year two. And since then, Chuck's accomplished quite a lot. Some of the major feats include winning not one, not two, but 10 trading championships with some insane returns there. Audited returns as high as 220%, 300%, and even 330%. Running his live signal services for 25 years straight without a single down year, including 7 major market corrections and crashes. He's made it through them all. But not just that, he's also personally locked in north of $3.4 million in trading profits over recent years. And that's a feat that very few traders have been able to accomplish. And he's used his 40-plus years of trading experience to show countless students around the globe how to reach their trading goals. Ann here from New Jersey said, I started with $16,000, and now my account has grown to more than $62,000. Nice brokerage shot there. Rod W., retired pharmacist, says, I can now spend my time on other things I enjoy. He's up 300 to 400% in just 3 to 6 months with a nice 6-figure profit there for Rod. Or how about Dr. Ted from Indiana? He started with $100K, and in 7 months, with no extra deposits, it was more than double. It went from $100K to $200K, and then it hit $260,000. Great work there, Dr. Ted. Now, those are some of the best stories we've heard from folks following Chuck's work in the past. But today, Chuck is raising the bar. He's doing something he never thought he'd do, something he didn't think could even be possible. Today, he's cutting the ribbon on a brand new smart algo that can automatically select high-paying options and send them right to you over and over again. So, Chuck, it's great to have you on today, and I'm excited to see what you have for us. Why don't you go ahead and take it away from here? Everyone give Chuck a warm, warm welcome.
Hey, Graham, can you hear me okay?
Yep, hear you great.
Okay, great to be here today, folks. And Graham, thank you for that kind introduction. I'm really excited to demonstrate to folks the power of this Auto Strike program today. It's an all-new, next-generation smart algo, unlike anything I've ever seen before in my 40 years of trading. That's because each and every day, it automatically scans, selects, and sends high conviction options trades right to you multiple times per week. Now, today, I'm looking for 199 diligent traders to team up with me in trading this all new breakthrough starting today. Now, of course, I want to be the first to remind folks that, like any strategy, there's bound to be winners and losers along the way. That's just the trading game. So never invest more than you can afford to lose, no matter how exciting the setup may look. Now, with that said, what you're about to see today is not some sort of back-tested or theoretical would have, could have, or should have. Every example I'll share with you today is based on real signals that AutoStrike generated in real time, based on the method that I've been personally using over the last few decades to trade with an incredible 96.2% accuracy on real money trades. So when I say this is a good thing, I really mean it. Now, with all of the uncertainty in the air, the timing for this broadcast could not be better. Over the last few weeks, we've seen traders' accounts get totally wiped out with the global trade war underway, as the stock market took the 5th fastest nosedive on record. But if you think that's bad, get this. Even with the big market drop that we've just had, stocks are still more overvalued than they have ever been. The last time we saw stocks priced at these levels was the 2000s dot-com bubble. Now, here's what came next, a multi-year bear market and a 0% return over the next 8 years. Now, the time before that, the 1970s stagflation, again, that's very similar to today's economy with the high inflation and slow growth. And let's take a look at what happened back in the 70s. 3 major market drops and a 0% return over the next 12 years. Now, I'm old enough to say I lived through that. So I'm not a doomsday guy. I'm not telling you to sell all of your stock. But here's what I do know. Nobody wants to see this happen to their portfolio over the next decade. And nobody can afford to have their account stuck in the mud for the next decade while inflation eats away at the balance. Because even if your account isn't going down, the withdrawals and increasing cost of living can totally destroy retirement dreams. That's why it's so important that you have AutoStrike running for you right now. Because not only can AutoStrike help protect your account against quick drops like we've all experienced lately, but it can also help kick open the door to new income opportunities all on its own. Isolating high probability options that you and I would have to spend hours and hours to find, and then it's sending them right to you with the power to pay out $500, $1,000, sometimes even $1,500 with a few clicks. For example, let's take a look at what happened with CrowdStrike back in October. Now, if you weren't in love with CrowdStrike stock at the time, I wouldn't have blamed you. The company was still dealing with the fallout of one of the worst online outages in the history of the world. And the stock was trading more than 25% below its highs. Definitely not a stock that most people would have been looking to trade. However, on October 16th, none of that mattered. If you had AutoStrike working for you, automatically scanning the options market on your behalf, you would have seen the CrowdStrike entry signal automatically generated with options criteria and entry price already selected on a silver platter. No extra legwork on your end. Just copy and paste the signal if you like it. And sure enough, anyone who did just that would have seen a big smile with AutoStrike paying $1,337.
Chuck, that's a great result. But folks, we're not done just yet, because on that same exact day, AutoStrike would have actually dealt you another high conviction trade alert as well. This one on Caterpillar, the construction company. Now, of course, AutoStrike would have done the heavy lifting for you, so you didn't need to do any technical analysis, no digging through the fundamentals. There was no need to look at the options chain, nor did you have to pull up the chart at all if you didn't want to. Everything you needed to know to take this income trade would have been automatically dialed up for you by the smart algo, with the high accuracy options opportunities pre-selected for you. So you could have been out on the water, which I know Chuck loves to do, maybe headed to lunch or about to catch an afternoon show. My point is, you could have been anywhere in the world. Just confirm the trade from your phone, and that's it. Now, in the case of Caterpillar, when it all worked out, folks could have cashed in big. Another $1,314 deposited into the account. Thank you, AutoStrike, for picking that one. Now, between those two trades that hit on the same day, that could have been an extra $2,651 sitting in folks' accounts. Now, that's an extra $2,000 that could have gone towards the groceries, the mortgage, or the credit card balance without having to make any extra withdrawals from your long-term portfolio. But as great as that is, it gets even better, because that was only 2 of the 13 winning signals in the month of October. You see them there. And just look at some of these paydays. $1,353 on Netflix, $1,187 on Home Depot, and $1,546 on ServiceNow, and obviously tons more in between. In fact, when you account for all of the October trades, just $2,500 into each would have paid $8,573 in auto strike income. Someone twice as confident, starting with maybe twice as much, could have seen five figures, $17,147 in auto strike income just for that 1 month of October. Now, that could have been enough to cover the groceries and the mortgage and still have enough left over to splurge on tickets to your favorite football team playing for it all. And Chuck, I know you had quite the experience there. So Chuck, why don't you walk through, folks, exactly how auto strike works and how anyone can get it running for them today?
Well, Graham, I'd be happy to. Now, as a reminder, folks, not all trades work out. There's winners and losers along the way. That said, we've been able to take these consistent income opportunities with a very high accuracy rate, thanks to a little known phenomenon buried inside the options market. Now, when I say options, most people assume that I'm talking about buying options in hopes that a stock rallies from there. That's how most people trade options. But there's actually a big problem with trading options that way. You see, when Wall Street lists these options and sells them to folks like you and me, they bake in another factor that makes it nearly impossible to consistently win with options. Now, it's called time decay. The way time decay works is the longer you hold one of those options, the more premium your position is losing. So you can be totally right about the direction of a stock, but still lose money on the options, all because of time decay working against you. And even worse, if the stock goes lower or even stays flat, you lose everything. Now, if you're not familiar with options, don't worry. You don't need to understand all this to take advantage of auto strike. But I do want to walk you through it because I want you to have that light bulb moment, just like I did years ago. You see, when Wall Street lists options and sells them to you, they want those options to expire worthless. As a matter of fact, one study by the Chicago Mercantile Exchange reported that 76% of options expire worthless. And in another report, a contributing writer at the Financial Post studied options extensively. And he found that up to 90% of all options buyers actually lose money on their trades at expiration, even if they're right about the underlying move. Not very good odds there. And Wall Street intentionally designed it this way because when you lose, of course, they win. So they set you up for failure by jacking up the options prices with aggressive time decay baked into the option. That way, your wins are few and far between, letting Wall Street keep most of the profit. The point here is most investors losing money on options aren't losing because they're always getting the direction wrong, but because the options themselves are rigged with this time value. However, as I'll show you, thanks to a little known phenomenon buried deep in the options market, auto strike is able to eliminate almost all of the time decay on our trades, allowing us to get paid when the stock moves higher, lower, or stays stuck for weeks on end. And the best part, since it selects the options on its own, it will even tell us ahead of time just how low a stock could go and still pay us. Meaning we always know our odds before we ever place the trade. For example, let's take a look at what happened in January. Going into the new year, things were not looking pretty as the market momentum was starting to slow down. Meanwhile, hedge funds were dumping shares at the fastest pace in recent history. However, on January 21st, folks would have been pinged with the new income opportunity automatically generated by auto strike. And as always, auto strike would have already generated the ticker, the entry price, the exact options criteria, and just how far that stock could drop and still pay you a great return, Now, in this case, it was a 13.4% buffer. Now, you could have listened to the noise from the news and all the headlines, which are overwhelming nowadays, and you would have missed out completely as your money earned you nothing. Or folks could have taken a quick minute to set the trade on NET and then walked away. Over the next few weeks, the stock sputtered around, going nowhere fast. Now, most folks trading options would have probably coughed up at least a 50% loss due to that time decay. But thanks to AutoStrike automatically selecting options where the time decay is almost completely eliminated, you could have pocketed $1,202 during the same time.
Chuck, I'm pretty sure everyone here would love to have booked an extra $1,202 in income that week, especially with how bad inflation has been over the last few years. We've seen these headlines. It's forced retirees to head back to work. Many people have been forced to pick up second jobs, while the savings accounts have been dropping to record lows. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I would personally much rather click a few buttons here than sit at a desk for an extra 20 hours a week, especially when AutoStrike is doing all the heavy lifting to find these options for me. I don't have to do anything on my own. Ones that can still pay even when a stock goes nowhere, like you showed here with the net example. So, Chuck, you have to give us more information. You mentioned that AutoStrike is selecting these options in a way that practically eliminates all the time decay that typically eats up accounts. So I'm sure some folks are wondering, is this maybe some form of a credit spread? Maybe you're selling naked puts here to capture premium?
No, we're not selling credit spreads or naked puts here or anything like that. Those can be great strategies to use for high win rates, but in my experience, you hold a lot of risk for a very little return. Now, one loser can wipe out your whole account, and that just doesn't sit well with me. Instead, I like it when high probability trades and great returns cross paths like they do here. Now, the key to these lucrative income trades is all thanks to a phenomenon hiding in the options market, specifically with deep in the money options. These are the options where the strike price is way below the current price of the stock. The options that are already very profitable. Now, most folks have no clue, but because these options are so far in the money, the time decay premiums are nearly completely eliminated, meaning we don't need to bank on a stock to make a big move or move in a short period of time to start making money. And we don't have to worry about Wall Street jacking up the price of the option well over its fair market value. That's why legendary hedge fund managers like Bill Ackman and Carl Icahn regularly use these types of options to grow their portfolios. Even Nancy Pelosi loves these deep in the money options because the winning percentage is so much better than trading the normal at the money call options. But the unfortunate truth is most folks will never touch these types of options because oftentimes they are very expensive. Not everyone feels comfortable shelling out $3,000, $4,000, sometimes even $10,000 for a single trade contract. And that's what keeps most people away from these highly profitable options. But luckily, with AutoStrike, you don't need to fork over $5,000 plus to take these trades. Thanks to a new way to twist these options into a more income-based approach, we're able to take these high probability trades with right around $500 to $750 per contract. And if that's not good enough for you, get this. Because of the way AutoStrike automatically selects the options, I believe we're actually able to get a much higher win rate than even Ackman or Icahn can with their style of trading. In fact, when AutoStrike filters through the millions of options available and then picks one to send to us, it sets up the trade in a very specific way that will pay us as long as the stock stays above our strike price. We don't have to worry about time decay. We don't have to worry about a stock drifting sideways. And we can repeatedly target $500, $1,000, sometimes even more, even if a stock tumbles hard. Now, for example, let's take a look at the very next trade that AutoStrike Smart Algo would have sent you. This one was on January 29th with Fortinet. As always, AutoStrike would have sent you the ticker, the exact options criteria, the entry price, in this example, $388 per contract, and the break-even price, or in other words, how far a stock could fall and still pay us a handsome profit. In this case, Fortinet could have fallen as much as 15.5% over the course of the trade, and it still would have paid us. Now, to show you visually just how good that is, let's pull up a chart of that stock just so you can see how large that buffer room is for yourself. Fortinet could have gone to the moon, it could have chopped around sideways, and it could have fallen as much as 15% and still pay us north of $1,000 on that position. In this example, Fortinet actually did end up trading lower from here, but it never came close to the break-even price. And anyone following along could have captured another nice payout, and this time it was $1,443 in extra income.
Chuck, that's really amazing. And folks, it was the same story with the Howmet Aerospace trade on February 11th of this year. Again, AutoStrike would have automatically sent you the ticker. It would have generated the specific options criteria for you, the entry price to pay, and the break-even price, letting you know that HWM could have fallen as much as 11.7% and still paid. Again, let's show you how good those odds are by taking a look at the chart. HWM, it could have gone up, down, or flat, but as long as it didn't crash 11% or more, you were golden. And in this case, HWM never got anywhere near that price. And anyone who clicked a few buttons to set their trade when AutoStrike automatically generated this new income position for you could have bagged another winner, $1,225 in this case. And keep in mind that you didn't have to manually go out and source this trade for yourself. Each alert includes everything you should need to trade on the go. So no more headaches staring at confusing chart patterns, no more forcing low probability trades. AutoStrike does all the heavy lifting for you without ever breaking a sweat.
That's exactly right, Graham. And my team and I intentionally designed it that way. I never wanted to take a trade in a way that has me strapped to the desk all day long. That just doesn't fit with my lifestyle. I'd much rather spend my time with the family, hiking the beautiful mountains in California and the volcanoes in Hawaii, or checking some items off the bucket list. Now, of course, you can't just blindly pick any option to make this happen. If it was that easy, everyone would already be doing it by now. Actually, finding these types of opportunities, it's a bit of a grueling process. For starters, there's thousands of stocks out there to filter through to find a viable setup. And then on top of that, there's literally millions of options to click through. I think earlier, Graham, you mentioned 63 million. So you have to find the appropriate liquidity, premiums, and profitability to get that risk to reward that we're looking for here. Finding these trades can oftentimes feel like finding a needle in a haystack. One small mistake on the option selection and the whole opportunity is completely blown. And I've seen really smart people struggle over and over again just from making one teeny tiny mistake in their option selection. That's why I automated the whole thing, taking all of the guesswork out of it. I work relentlessly with the programmers to get the trading engine built into AutoStrike running just right, based on the same rules that I've used for decades now. But now it's able to do even more than I ever thought possible, automatically scouring through the endless options available to isolate the best income opportunities with the highest odds of working out. And that's something that no human can really do by hand. Once it runs through all of the options available, it then does a stress test on them to make sure that they can withstand a major market drop. AutoStrike will validate the signal automatically on its own, so there's no guessing on what you need to do. And when we get all the green lights, AutoStrike will send it right to you. That way, every time you check in and see the newest entry alert, you know it's a high conviction income signal that's already been sourced and vetted by AutoStrike. Then, if you like, you can simply copy and paste the options to take the trade, and your job is done. For example, like the trade on IBM, December 11th, AutoStrike flagged the new income opportunity on IBM. It would have sourced the ticker, the entry price, and the options criteria, but not just that. It also ran a stress test on the strike prices to verify the position could withstand a major market drop, where we know for a fact that we will win even if the stock goes soaring to new highs, gets stuck chopping sideways, or even takes a tumble, as long as it stays above the strike price. Multiple winning scenarios across the board. You got to love that. So folks could have taken a moment to copy the options and set up the income trade on IBM, then fired it off. And when it all worked out, $1,691 profit in IBM.
Chuck, this smart algo is next level stuff. Not only does it do all of the heavy lifting for you, searching through the countless options out there to find a needle in a haystack, but then it also verifies the resiliency of the trade before it ever sends it to you. And here's what's really cool. If it's not a winning scenario across the board, AutoStrike automatically tosses the trade out of the window. That removes the low probability trades and even the medium probability trades automatically for us. And it only generates the trades that the calculation finds to have the best chances of success, ones that show winning scenarios in every situation tested. For example, like with CBRE in November. As always, the stock and options criteria generated for you and laid out in an easy to follow alert. The entry price done for you as well, this case, $385 per contract, and the break-even price giving us at least a 10% plus of buffer room. And the options already stress tested to work on multiple different stock scenarios, up, down, or flat, winning outcomes across the board like you mentioned. Now, had you taken just a few minutes to set the trade when AutoStrike sent you the income signal, you could have come back to $1,493 from this payday.
And Graham, we get these opportunities over and over again, like with Netflix back in August. All of the entry criteria automatically generated and sent to you by AutoStrike. Profitability schedule fully stress test and verified for a high likelihood of working out. It's a win-win-win, as I like to say. And anyone who followed along could have hit another great winner even as Netflix was stalled out. And I can show you hundreds of examples just like this, because with AutoStrike, the opportunity is virtually endless.
Well, Chuck, I have to say, this is exactly what folks need right now. Whether you believe that the markets are heading lower from here or back to all-time highs, it really doesn't matter. That's because AutoStrike has been able to take some of the worst market drops and turn them into a treasure trove of income opportunities. For example, like in July and August, I think a lot of people here remembered this, the S&P 500 was dropping into correction territory, falling more than 10%. Now, during that time, folks could have bagged not one, not two, but 10 winners with AutoStrike, including $1,266 on PanW, $1,337 on Spotify, and even $1,573 on American Express. All in all, that could have totaled up to an incredible $13,315 in extra income over that terrible time in the markets. Now, again, not all trades work out this well, but we want to demonstrate what is possible with AutoStrike. So how about the most recent crash? I saw we had some questions in the chat. How did it work over this recent crash? Well, we've had the tariff news, global threats, slowing economy, and stocks crashing, actually crashing 20% from the highs. Now, most folks saw their accounts plummet, and a lot of folks fearing that even the regular withdrawals from the retirement account could completely dismantle their future. But with AutoStrike working for you, handpicking the options with the highest likelihood of working out, you could have pocketed some extra income to get through these tough times. Just look at the 9 trades that would have paid out in March alone. That's an extra $9,166 in income over that stretch. Not bad while the markets were falling from the sky. Now, even if you only took half of the trades, you still would have been very well off, about $4,500 for the month. And of course, this obviously works great too when markets are going up. Now, Chuck, I can't wait to get AutoStrike in the hands of the folks tuning into this broadcast right now.
Graham, me either. And I think AutoStrike is about to go on a massive run, unlike anything we've seen in years. With a big portion of this crazy market downside already baked in, I think there's more upside than downside potential over the next year. I wouldn't be shocked if AutoStrike won the next 10 trades in a row. Heck, while we can't promise any future outcomes nor protect against losses, I wouldn't be shocked if AutoStrike won the next 20 in a row. But luckily, it doesn't matter to me if stocks go soaring higher from here. That's because AutoStrike allows us to trade with a very high level of confidence, knowing that these picks are designed to pay even if stocks continue to dive lower. And today, I'd like to invite folks out there to join me in unlocking this powerful, smart algo for themselves. In fact, I'm looking for 199 diligent traders to team up with me in this all-new breakthrough today. Now, it doesn't matter if you're retired, still working a 9-to-5 job, if you're in college, or maybe if you're a full-time mom. As long as you have an internet connection, a brokerage account, and a few minutes each week, you can set up AutoStrike to automatically send you high win rate opportunities targeting $500, $1,000, and sometimes even more every day right from the palm of your hand. Today, I'd like to invite you to take one of these 199 spots and access the all-new AutoStrike. Now, for those of you who are ready to take the limited spots allowed at today's deal, let me quickly walk you through everything you can expect as a member. And then we'll post the link to join. Now, I wouldn't be shocked if spots fill up in the first 10 minutes, so be ready, folks. Now, each and every day, AutoStrike will be constantly running and searching through the options markets for you. No code or download necessary. When it finds a new income opportunity with the verified profitability schedule, it will automatically post the specific entry criteria in the online portal. Each automatic alert includes everything you need to trade on the go, with the ticker, the exact options criteria, the entry price, and full profit potential laid out for you. This smart algo is next level, sourcing through literally millions of options, doing something that no human could possibly do by hand, and then delivering you the trade on a silver platter. Now, the algo typically posts the newest entry for the day in the morning, and that entry is valid for the whole day. So as long as you can check in before the markets close, you are good to go. Now, my goal is to get 199 new traders up and running with AutoStrike at an extremely discounted price today. Hopefully get a few dozen winning trades under your belt in the next few weeks and some powerful testimonies as well. That way, when we do bring it back to the public at a much higher price, we'll have endless stories to share of the members' success.
Chuck, I can't wait to hear from the members once they get their hands on AutoStrike today. I mean, we've already heard so many good stories from your top students in the past across your various programs. Like Jerry here from California said, using what I learned from Chuck, my investments made $136,000. It's 11 weeks there and annualizing to over 200% per year on his active investment accounts. And my trades are continuing to succeed even in this crazy market. How about Deb from Florida? Above is a screenshot of this year's gains. It's a game changer, just saying. There you see here, E-Trade account up $100,000 on the year. And then there's James and Patricia, maybe one of the best stories I've ever seen. He said, we've never been as successful as we have been following Chuck and his family. After starting with about $5,900, we saw $212,000 in profits.
Well, Graham, I want to see 199 more stories just like those starting today. And if you take one of the limited membership spots available today, I want to show you how to get there even faster. Now, of course, for the 199 new members today, I'm going to immediately grant you access to the Getting Started guide my team and I just finished and posted in the members portal. This will walk you through everything you need to know to get going with auto strike options today. And if you need any assistance, our US-based customer support team is standing by to answer any related questions you might have. In my opinion, following along with these automated signals is no tougher than riding a bike or shooting a layup. I could even teach my granddaughter to do it, and she could get the hang of it really quick. But if you want to see the success that we've seen so far from these signals, you have to use options. Now, I know that not everyone here has used options before, and that's okay. I'm also going to include a step-by-step walkthrough on how to use options, plus how to upgrade your brokerage to make it even easier to tap into these income opportunities. Now, again, even if you're new to options, I bet after one or two trades, you can totally get the hang of it. After that, it's smooth sailing, smooth sailing from there. Now, there's one final upgrade I want to include for today's new members, and it takes the value to a whole new level. Listen, my team and I work endlessly to get AutoStrike up and running on its own, selecting stocks and options automatically with a very high likelihood of paying out. And now that it's all polished up and running like a well-oiled machine, I've made one final tweak to it.
And folks, this is big. This is really big.
I've just finished another upgrade to AutoStrike. So now it will send you a new income signal every single day. That means each day of the week, you can check in and grab the hottest new signal right away, all vetted and verified by the system. For example, like on January 14th, 2025, with the new income trade on ISRG, you could have come back to an extra $1,208 sitting in your account. Then the next day, January 15th, on ticker CLS. This time, it could have been a healthy $1,363 added to your account. And like I said, we now get these types of automated opportunities over and over again every single day. For example, like the next day, January 16th, 2025, a $1,226 opportunity on Meta. Now, of course, you don't need to take every trade if you don't want to. That said, I wanted to make sure that you always have an ample amount of income opportunities coming your way. That way, you don't have to worry if you miss a trade or take a week off for vacation. You'll always have a constant stream of income opportunities coming your way.
Chuck, this is really, really remarkable. First off, on those three back-to-back examples, that would have been $3,798 in income that folks could have generated after only 3 days of trades. And now you're saying that you're automatically upgrading the folks who joined today to get a new signal every single day. Now, in my opinion, that takes the value up 5x. Now, I have to admit, I've seen tools that can pick up on good stocks to buy and sell and give folks entries on that, right? But I've never seen a tool that's so powerful that it can actually pick the options for you, let alone at this incredibly high hit rate. So I have to imagine access to AutoStrike will probably cost a pretty penny. I'm thinking maybe $15,000 or at least $10,000 for a tool this powerful.
Well, Graham, I firmly believe we could probably charge double that amount and have no problem getting new members on board. But my goal here isn't to charge the new members as much as possible. It's to give them as many winning opportunities as possible. So for the first 199 folks in the door today, it's not going to be $10,000 to join. Now, bonus number one is half off for new members. I'm going to drop the price of your first year from $9,997 all the way down to $4,997, making it much more affordable to target these repeatable income opportunities. And then I'm going to cut the price again. Bonus number two, the final discount for the first 199 new members in the door who take action today, I'm going to cut the already discounted price from $4,997 per year all the way down to $1,895 for instant access. And today, if you're one of those 199 folks who take action, you'll get the savings plus access to the new alerts right away. After those 199 spots fill up, this deal will no longer be available. My publisher will either increase the price or take it off the internet altogether. You do not want to miss out on this, folks, on this brand new trading breakthrough, automatically generating high conviction income trades every single day.
Folks, Chuck is right. With an offering this good and a brand new smart algo this powerful, plus the virtually endless amounts of opportunity in the thousands of dollars in savings today, these 199 spots, they're going to fly off the shelves. In fact, we had some go off the shelves while we were giving this presentation. So we're now under that number. If you're the 200th person trying to join, you're going to be too late. So don't delay, because access to AutoStrike will be first come, first serve. If you're ready to take the next step and unlock a full year of access for pennies on the dollars, then here comes that link in the chat. Raleigh just posted it. You can click that link in the chat right now, or go to tradewinds.com/199. Be one of those first 199 members in the door today. And if you want to, you can call the team at 828-318-8810. Again, guys, only 199 founding members allowed at today's special price. And remember, Chuck included that automatic upgrade where you now get new trades every single day. So don't worry about taking every single one, but you don't have to sweat if you miss one or if you're on vacation for a week. A constant stream of income opportunities will be coming your way with AutoStrike. Again, lock in that discount right now by clicking that link in the chat or going to tradewinds.com/199. And we have tons of people in here today. I want to be shocked if by the time we get to the Q&A here at the end and open up the questions in the chat, if spots are already gone. Now, all of the details of your new AutoStrike membership are on the next page. When you join as one of the first 199 founding members, you will automatically save half off the retail price, plus an extra $3,000 plus in one-time savings. This is a special for the ribbon-cutting event. Do not miss this rock-bottom price to unlock the all-new AutoStrike Smart Algo today. I'd hate for you to have to pay more when those 199 founding member spots are gone. So click that link in the chat, or give us a call to secure your founding membership discount right now. Again, if you guys join today, we still have time. You can go and enter today's new pick if you'd like to. They're posted every single day. You just check in and you get the pick with the options criteria already included.
Now, Graham, before we open up the chat and answer some questions, I have an important announcement to make. For a very limited time, I'm offering a special bonus for the most dedicated students. Once you click the link in the chat, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It's a special 2-year deal where you can get an extra year of AutoStrike for only $300 extra, meaning you can instantly save 85% on your second year of access by claiming that additional discount today. However, this is a very limited time offer and it will not be available for long.
Guys, click that link in the chat, tradewinds.com/199, or give us a call, 828-318-8810 to get started. Now, I'm just going to ask you guys in the chat, when you're signed up, give me a yes in the chat so we get an idea of how many of these spots are already off the board, and I know that they're going to go quick. Again, we had some go off the board while we were in the middle of the presentation. We didn't even get to this point yet, so spots are flying off the shelves. We got a yes. We got a yes, yes, yes. Lots of yeses across the board today. Let's go.
So I love picturing what AutoStrike can do for you over the next year, and I can't wait to get it into your hands. Look, I've been actively trading for over 4 decades now. I've traded through crashes, bubbles, booms, and everything in between. I've won the trophies, I hit millions in profits, gave tons away, and I even published my own book. But just like anyone at this time in their career, at some point, I'll be ready to retire and move on from the public eye. I've got more life to live, kids and grandkids to spend time with, more countries to explore, and expeditions ahead of me. My point is, I won't be doing this forever. And that's why I called my team for an all-hands-on-deck project to create AutoStrike. Not only did I want to automate my best performing trading strategy, making my life much easier than ever before, and the trades even more effective, but I also wanted to build a legacy for my family and a legacy for yours too. I wanted to build the most powerful trading tool that this world has ever seen. Something that my kids could use to target extra income from the stock market for years and years to come without the pain of trial and error. And something they could pass on to their kids too. And what would be better to pass on than a fully automated trading engine that scans, selects, and sends high conviction options trades right to your computer or phone each and every day. That's why today, I want to offer you the same chance to build a legacy for your loved ones too. Graham, why don't we walk them through this final must-have bonus?
Chuck, I would be loved to. And guys, this is really, really important. Folks, once you take one of the 199 spots available today and click that button to submit to your membership, do not exit that next page. Don't refresh. Don't hit the back button. That's because on that next page, you're going to get a very special invite to upgrade your subscription to Legacy Lifetime Access. And there's a few implications with this. First off, you're going to save thousands of dollars on fees. You see, at the current annual cost, after only 5 years of using AutoStrike, you'll be close to $10,000 in membership fees. However, when you upgrade to Legacy Lifetime status today, it's not going to run you anything near that. In fact, it won't even be half of that cost. Now, please note that with this one-time charge today, you'll never have to pay a renewal fee again, no maintenance charges, no hidden fees. Just a one-time payment, and you can gain unfiltered access to AutoStrike for years and years to come. But that's only just the beginning, because as a Legacy Lifetime member, you will also get upgraded access to share your login information with up to 5 family members or friends, and they too can enjoy the lifetime access of AutoStrike. Remember, Chuck built AutoStrike to build a legacy for his kids and his grandkids too. Now, this is your opportunity to do the same thing and build a legacy for your loved ones. So today, you can lock them in for a lifetime access for them so that they can learn AutoStrike to find new income opportunities for them in the future. Now, in my opinion, this is a must-have upgrade for anyone who would love to help their kids or other family members help level up in the stock market and hopefully in their financial future as well. However, this is really important. We can only guarantee 50 Legacy Lifetime spots a day. Once we hit that number, it's up to the publisher on what to do next with the lifetime price. So the question is, are you ready to leave a lifetime legacy? Will you be one of the first in the door today to upgrade to lifetime legacy access? Well, you have to start by claiming your founding membership first, and then you can upgrade from there on the next page. Guys, click that link in the chat to get started, or go to tradewinds.com/199. Or if you'd like to speak with the person, I saw we had some chats in here. So people may be having trouble with the buying link. We may have so many people already ordering that we're getting close to that limit. If you're having trouble with your order, give us a call, 828-318-8810. The get you taken care of. And remember, you'll want to join right now because that newest trade is in the members portal for you, already automatically generated by AutoStrike. Now, remember the opportunity today. AutoStrike is the only trading tool that I know of that's able to automatically pick options designed to pay regardless if stocks go higher, they go flat, or lower. And it does it without you needing to lift a finger. If it's not a winning scenario across the board, AutoStrike automatically tosses out the window. That removes the low probability and even the medium probability trades for you. We only want the ones with the best chances of success. The ones that show winning scenarios in every situation tested, the win-win-wins across the board. For example, like with CBRE in November, AutoStrike selected the stock and the options criteria generated for you in an easy-to-follow alert. In this case, it was $385 per contract and a break-even price, giving us 10% plus of buffer room. And the options were already stress tested to work on multiple different stock scenarios, whether it went up, down, or flat, winning outcomes across the board. Now, had you taken a few minutes to set the trade when AutoStrike sent you the income signal, you could have come back to $1,493 from that income position. Or like with Netflix in August, that was a terrible time to be invested in stocks, but AutoStrike is already filtering the best income opportunities for you. So it sent the trade alert details. It sent the profitability schedule, fully stress tested and verified for a high likelihood of working out. It's a win-win-win, as we like to say. And anyone who followed along could have hit another great winner, even as Netflix was stalled out from there. So don't miss on today's new income alerts, guys. Click that link in the chat to get started. And again, don't forget, you're getting upgraded to a new entry alert every day. And once you take your membership, if you're one of the first 199 in the door today on that next page, you can upgrade to Legacy Lifetime Access. That's a small group of people who are going to be able to get the lifetime access for a one-time payment plus multi-access login criteria.
Now, Graham, I firmly believe that this is exactly what everyone needs right now. Whether you believe the markets are heading lower from here or back to all-time highs, all of that really doesn't matter. That's because AutoStrike has been able to take some of the worst market drops and turn them into a treasure trove of income opportunities. For example, back in July and August, when the S&P was heading into correction territory, it was dropping 10%, folks could have bagged not one, not two, but 10 winners with AutoStrike, including $1,371 on Carvana, $1,258 on Costco, and $1,201 on XBI. And all in all, that could have totaled up to an incredible $13,315 in extra income, all while the market was dropping. Or how about the most recent crash, tariff news, global threats, slowing economy, and stocks crashing actually more than 20% at one point? Most folks saw their accounts plummet. A lot of folks fearing that even irregular withdrawals from their retirement account could completely dismantle their future. But with AutoStrike working for you, handpicking the options with the highest likelihood of working out, you could have pocketed some extra income to get you through these tough times. Just look at the 9 trades that would have paid out in March alone. That's an extra $9,166 in income over that stretch. Now, even if you only took half of those trades, you would still be very well off. And of course, it obviously works great too when markets are going up. AutoStrike is the pinnacle of my 40-year trading career. All automated, all in one place. And if there's only one trading tool or program you have, I highly suggest you make it this one.
Guys, click that link to get started today with AutoStrike. And I've already seen in the chat, tons and tons of people have already taken these spots. I'm sure they're filling up quickly. Just to clarify, guys, you don't have to go type in a ticker. You don't have to go find your own stock to trade here. AutoStrike automatically filters through all the stocks out there, all the options out there, and finds a needle in a haystack type of opportunity, one that most people will overlook and never see. But it finds it and it dials it all up for you. It stress tests the options to prove that it works in all sorts of market climates, and then you can just take the trade if you like. So click that link in the chat to get started. And some of you guys are saying you're having issues with your orders. Give us a call, guys. 828-318-8810. I have to imagine we're getting so many hits on the membership checkout page that the page may be running a bit slow. So if that's you, give us a call and we will honor your spot. Now, Chuck, really quick before we open the chat, and we're going to answer your guys' questions here in the chat, so don't go anywhere. Let me answer a few common questions or ask you some. Chuck, do I need to install something to use AutoStrike?
No, there's no code or downloads or install needed. Once you take one of the limited memberships today, you will be sent a secure username and password to the new members portal, where you can easily access today's new entry right from your computer, tablet, or cell phone anywhere in the world. So there is no download. You just need to log on to the website to get the trades.
That's awesome. So you guys can access it from anywhere in the world. Now, if I'm a beginner, is AutoStrike a good fit for me?
Absolutely. AutoStrike gives you a big edge with clear and structured entry alerts with everything you should need to know to set up trades. If I were to start my trading career over from scratch today, joining AutoStrike is the first thing that I would do.
I would too, because it just does everything for you, and you can really get started even if you're just brand new. Now, does AutoStrike give me both the stock ticker and the exact options criteria for placing a trade, or do I have to go find the options myself?
Yes, this smart algo is the first of its kind where it's able to source the exact options to own for optimal results. There's no extra legwork on your end, and it gives you the profit amount if you want to set an exit target early, and I'll cover this in the
perfect. So it'll tell you the
trainings.
profitability before time. If you want to hold it for that full profit, you can. If you guys want to exit early for a partial profit along the way, Chuck's going to teach you exactly how to do that. Now, how much does the average trade cost?
Well, on average, the usual entry cost is about $5 or $500 per contract, or in other words, $500 per trade. Now, with all that said, it could range with some as low as $300 and others that are $700 plus. Now, the good news is that there is no shortage of entries. So if you don't like one or two and you think it's too expensive, you can just totally pass on the trade.
That's perfect. And remember, guys, it's giving you a new one every single day. So it's not like you have to take everyone. If you're starting out with a smaller account, which is totally perfect for this, you can just take the cheaper entries. Now, do I need a huge account to trade this?
No, this isn't day trading. So you don't have to worry about that $25,000 rule. And unlike deep in the money options that could run you as much as $5,000 to $10,000 per position, these trades are only about 1/10 of that cost. So you don't need a big account.
Awesome. Now, what if I have questions about how to get started with AutoStrike?
Well, I'm going to immediately grant you access to the Getting Started guide my team and I just finished and posted in the members portal. This will walk you through everything you need to know to get going with the AutoStrike options today.
That's awesome. And you are going to have master classes too, right, Chuck?
Yes, absolutely. This Thursday, we're going to have a master class for our new members.
Awesome. So you guys can join Chuck live, ask him any question you have. Now, of course, that's for the members only. It's not going to be for everyone. It's going to be for the first 199 members here.
And if you need any assistance, our US-based customer support team is standing by to answer any questions you might have. If for some reason you don't love AutoStrike, you'll have 7 days to call our team, and in the rare chance we cannot help you out, we'll refund you every penny of your membership cost, and it's just that easy.
Perfect. So you have their back. Now, what about exits, Chuck?
Well, AutoStrike also gives you the potential profit from the trade, so you always know the exit you can shoot for.
And of course, guys, in the master classes, he's going to show you how you can set an early profit target if you'd like to just set it and forget it. I know some of you guys really like that. He's got you covered there. Now, Chuck, is there anything else we should know?
Well, actually, Graham, I do have another free bonus for the first 199 members in the door today. This is a surprise bonus.
Ooh, interesting.
Originally, my team wanted me to program AutoStrike to only give you one income signal per day. That way we could sell a more elite version of it down the road with 2 to 3 entries per day and charge 2 to 3 times as much. Well, we may still do that, and the price would likely be $4,995 per year, and I might say worth every penny. But if you take one of the 199 spots today, you're going to get grandfathered into the elite version of the auto strike for free. Meaning starting today, you can get up to 3 income signals sent to you, options criteria included, from auto strike each day. And if we launch the $4,995 version in the future, you won't have to pay an extra penny. You'll be grandfathered in.
That is amazing, guys. And that's all the more reason to take one of the legacy lifetime spots today. So your subscription timer doesn't run out and you miss out on this grandfathered access. Guys, click that link in the chat right now to sign up for Auto Strike. We'll get an update here from the team in just a moment, but I know that we have tons of spots off the board. And again, there's new trades waiting for you today. Now let's pop into the chat, Chuck, and answer some questions for folks here in the room. And again, I'm going to leave this slide up so you can always see the link to join or who to call. Awesome. Now, how did they receive the alert? Guys, the alert will be posted for you each and every morning in the portal. It's automatically generated by AutoStrike every morning, so you can check in the morning, you can check in at lunch, you can check in the afternoon. It will be posted for you. What percent are winning trades and what percent are losing trades? Well, Ron, this is a software that picks all of the options for you. Chuck has personally been able to take them with a very, very high win rate. But of course, that'll be up to you and which ones you take or which ones you pass on. The phone line seems to have a very long wait. Maybe we leave our name and email to get in as one of the 195. Good question, Sandra. Guys, post your name and email if you want to save your spot. Now, of course, I can't actually promise that we're going to have spots left by the end of this. I apologize. I understand that the phone team is booked. But guys, if you are wanting to get in right now, just click that link in the chat and sign yourself up right now while the phone team is still working through all the calls. Barbara's on hold too. Yeah, guys, I apologize for the long line on the phones. We're working through them all right now. Lewis doesn't have a guarantee yet. Chuck's giving you 7 days to try it out. Try it out, and if after or someone else tells you about, no, this is going through vetting the stock, and then there's going to be a couple stocks that pass that first vetting process, and then it's going to sort through all the different options of each of those and find the ones with the best odds of working out. Today's trade, Salio, today's trade will be in the members area once you get your login. When will we get the login? Guys, we have a ton of people joining right now. I'm sure the system is processing everything at the moment. Give it 5-10 minutes for that login to hit your email, and then you'll be able to see today's newest entry. Oh, there you go. Robert's in. He's already made 2 trades today. I love it, Robert. Good stuff. No, you don't need to download Telegram, guys. This is all, it's on an internet browser, so you can access it from your phone, computer, laptop. You can be anywhere in the world. You can be on an airplane and go just log in and see the newest trade alert from the day. Robert, are the examples using one contract or multiple contracts? It was based on just a fixed starting stake. Now, let me just go back here and I'll just show you guys, because like Chuck said, you know, they're going to be different entry prices, but $393, that's very cheap. This one's $1,600. Maybe you pass on Netflix and take the next one, $700, $388. So you guys can see the various different entry prices there. All in all, though, with all those trades, it looks really, really, really good. Do you need to connect a broker so the trades are automated? Paulo, you can use any brokerage you prefer. You just log into the portal. It'll give you the exact options to take, and then you can just copy and paste them over to your brokerage account. David, I'm not so sure on that. Follows in. Awesome. Okay, Beth, we will have you taken care of. She said that she had an issue with the page, but it said it went through on her credit card. Beth, give us a call, and they might be able to walk you through. And again, I say give us a call, but I heard that the team is totally swamped with calls right now. Chuck, do you know what the average hold time is here?
Average hold time is 3 to 4 weeks, sometimes more, sometimes
awesome. And that's
less.
just the secret sauce, guys, behind this high win rate, high probability trade. RV Hannings, no one is answering my question about the cost of lifetime. I'm not exactly sure what it's at. Raleigh, do you mind jumping in here and giving us some feedback on the lifetime? I actually am not sure exactly what that is.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you sign up for the 1-year program for $18.95, which Chuck is an amazing price, another page will pop up and give you the option to upgrade to lifetime. Now the upsell price is $2,995. So you add $29.95 to $18.95, and you will have this program for lifetime. And that means, once again, you'll never pay another penny for this system. So it's tremendous cost savings for you, in particular using it over time. But what's really amazing to me is that Chuck is granting you 5 additional licenses. So once you get the lifetime, you can share it with a son, a daughter, your wife, a friend, you know, up to 5 different licenses, and each one of those is lifetime. And Chuck, that's just so generous of you to do that, but I know you said that's how you want to get this in the hands of as many people as possible.
Yes, this is my legacy, Raleigh.
Yeah, absolutely. And once again, folks, whether you go with the 1-year program or the 2-year program or the lifetime program, it's all backed by a 7-day money-back guarantee. There's an awful lot of things that you can do with this program in 7 days. Chuck's convinced you're going to love it, but for whatever reason, if you're not satisfied with it, he and his team will refund every penny of your investment, regardless of which selection that you make.
Awesome. Ray, if you're having an issue on the page, give the team a call. Does anyone know, are the phones able to, are you still on hold, or are they getting through now? Looks like Glenn is in. Jeffson, John, Anthony, Barbara, Miranda, Fred, Hector, Anthony. Awesome. Guys, there are just tons and tons of people joining today. Very exciting. Again, some of you guys have already taken the trades. Awesome. Thank you, David. Rich says he's been on hold for over 20 minutes. Hopefully, Rich, were you able to click the link in the chat and get started there? John's still on hold. Yes, Dan. Shannon's asking what time of day do the alerts come out? They're normally posted sometime in the morning. Chuck, do you know the exact time roughly what they'll be posted in the morning from AutoStrike? Obviously, you don't want it to send it to you right at 9:30 because so much can change at the market open.
Yes, yeah, it's usually within an hour or two of the market open.
Gotcha. Awesome. We're getting some people saying they're getting errors on the page.
Yeah, I just, for whatever it's worth, you know, I just clicked on the link and it went right through for me, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah, James. Yeah, interesting. Well, guys, we promise we'll get you taken care of. We want to make sure everyone here who is taking action today gets the spot honored as well.
Yeah. And if you're unsure, folks, once again, you know, don't get frustrated. Just leave your name and your phone number here with us, and we'll have, you know, Chuck's customer service team is going to give you a call, and we'll make sure that we answer your questions and we'll process your order over the phone. So I know a lot of people, Chuck, are just concerned that they're going to miss out on the special pricing. So I think if they get their name and their phone number in here, we'll get that right over to the sales team. So it can be.
Yeah, and Raleigh, I see here you posted in the chat here the pricing structure for the 1 year, the upsell to lifetime, the 2 year, and then the 7-day money back guarantee. So any questions on the pricing, folks, just look at Raleigh's post there. He has all the details.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right, Raleigh, well, why don't you catch us up to speed? I know we had a lot of chats here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there were I think, so there were some questions there, Chuck, once again, as to what type of option, what level options do people need to have to be able to take advantage of this, Chuck? Some people were wondering, are these sophisticated things? Are these naked options? Are these credit spreads? Is it level 1, level 2, that type of a thing?
Yes, it's usually level 2 or 3. these are not naked puts and they're not credit spreads.
Okay. Very, very straightforward there. And folks, once again, just want to remind everybody that this is the first ever time that Chuck is being made this available. So this is a premier event, which is exciting from that standpoint, but it's not like it just came out of the out of the workshop yesterday. As I mentioned in my introduction, this is 40 years in the making. As Chuck said, this is his legacy. 40 years of trading have culminated in this package, this automated system that went, that now has the capability to generate 2 to 3 trades per day. And Chuck, I know there's a massive amount of work that went into programming this. And of course, these are real time. So, I mean, you're accessing data and information in real time. You're crunching it. You're running it through a series of filters, and your system, your algo, is only presenting those that meet your very strict criteria.
Yes, and the trade selection process that the algo uses, of course, is the trade selection process I've been using for decades for this option strategy. So I've been trading this in real time for a long time, have great success with this. So we built this algo to go out and look at millions of options and apply our trade selection process that I've been using in real time for decades.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen anything like this in the trading markets, in the options markets. I've never seen an automated system like this that scans literally millions of options to find the trade that meets our criteria.
That meets your criteria. And I know, Graham, you had mentioned we all know systems out there that have the ability to potentially identify stocks, that are worth looking into. But so many people are wondering, well, what's the option that I should be playing on that? And Chuck, you provide not only the underlying stock, but you're actually showing precisely what the option is. And everything is, you're sharing everything that somebody needs to know to decide if that's a trade that they want to take.
Yes, that's exactly why I designed this program, to search those millions of options and give you the exact strike price and expiration date that meets our criteria for selecting options trades.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, it's funny that this is happening right now. This morning on my morning show, we were doing a trade on the stock ED, which I didn't trade it before. And so we did all this work to find a stock, one that we really liked. And then I pulled the options and they were just no good. So that's frustrating. We did another stock. I did all the work vetting it, looking for it, and I pulled the options. There's no good. What's cool about AutoStrike is it's going to do all that for you. So you don't have to worry about going and doing stock selection and making sure the options are liquid. No, it's already going through that automatically for you, saving you lots of time and headaches, and then sending it for you teed up on a silver platter.
Sure. And Chuck, I think you also mentioned, and Graham, you harped on it as well, this is a strategy that has survived the test of time. This is not something that's just enjoying results in these crazy volatile markets that we've seen over the past couple of weeks. As you said, Chuck, this has been your selection process going back over 40 years. So it has survived the test of time.
Yes, it has. And I've traded through bear markets, flat markets, and everything in between using this strategy. That's why I like the ability of this strategy to profit even when the stock goes down. That's key. That can lead to a higher percentage of winning trades and give you that edge that you need to succeed in trading options.
Sure. So Chuck, some people also, another question that was being asked, appreciating that this is a very, very solid strategy, but not every trade's going to be a winner. In those circumstances, when the trade goes against you, do you manage your exit, or are you basically forfeiting your investment on that particular trade and you move to the next one?
No, we manage the trade, and we're going to explain that trade management in detail in the upcoming masterclass.
Ah, that's great. Awesome. So folks, once again, that's kind of key, because a number of us, this is not, Chuck, you had talked about how most people trade the markets, buying a call, buying a put, heavy directional trade, things of that nature. And you shared with everybody what's potentially wrong with that is that the market's almost rigged against you. And so your strategy here, and folks, you have to kind of go back to the foundational components that Chuck talked about. When you're picking something that's deep in the money, you know, with a relatively long expiration, you're going to do well as long as the price doesn't drop below that strike. And Chuck, once again, I know you well enough to know that you enjoy making money, but you also keep a pretty sharp eye on what the risk is, the risk to reward of your strategies. And so, you know, once again, folks, you need to have level 2 or level 3 to place this particular trade, but it really does it's an edge. Chuck, pure and simple, this is an edge.
Yes. Yep. And the nice thing about it, Raleigh, is that you know the profit potential and the risk ahead of time before you even take the trade. So if you see a trade you don't like, you can simply just pass on that, knowing that there's going to be plenty of more opportunities down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Sorry,
I was just going to say, people, it looks like the page is working good. We just tested it on our end. Rich just said he finally got through, so he's in for life. Awesome, Rich.
Fantastic, guys. Yeah. Terrific. Wow, my gosh, awful lot of people here still with us here at this point in time, and this is terrific. And I'm not surprised, Chuck. I'm not. Yeah, we do have some. We do have some new traders here, and we refer to them affectionately as newbies, but they're wondering, Chuck, is this something that a new person, definition being, has never really placed a stock trade or an option trade? Is this something for them, or is this a bit too advanced?
Well, we give exact instructions on how to enter the trade.
Right.
And if members have any questions about that, we're going to cover that in detail in the upcoming masterclass on Thursday.
Awesome.
Right. And you also include the options training as part of the program here, which is something that people can get into. I guess my editorial comment would be this, folks. If you are absolutely just brand new to trading, if that's stock trading, there's two things, in my opinion, that you need to do. Number one, align yourself with an appropriate mentor. And I can't think of anybody much better than Chuck as your mentor. And secondly, you're investing in a system that's doing really the hardest part of the job, which is identifying the high probability trade. And then it's serving it up to you with everything that you need to know to place the trade. So if you're brand new to trading, your focus then is just going to be learning the mechanics of how you enter that trade into your broker platform. That's what you have to focus on. Because once again, Chuck's system is giving you the trade, everything that you need to do. Open up a paper trading account, prove to yourself that you know how to enter those options, get in and out of them. And once you're absolutely comfortable, start small. And to that point, Chuck, I know that all of your examples were based on 5K, but you're not suggesting to people here that you must have 5K on every trade. I think you said a single option would be around 500 on average. Is that correct?
Yeah, 500 to about $750 on average. And of course, that's going to depend mostly on the price of the underlying stock. So if you have a high price stock, obviously the option trade is going to be more expensive. So we have some higher price trades, and then we have some lower price trades also.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And guys, remember, the cool thing here is that you're grandfathered into the new elite version of it as well, where you'll get more than one a day. So maybe today, I'm just going to make it up. I haven't seen it today, but maybe it's NVIDIA today and another stock, and one's trading for $1,000 in the contract, the other's at 300. Maybe you just take the one that's 300 a contract, and then you have plenty of opportunities each and every day. So it's not like you're cut off.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, exactly.
The master classes, guys, those will be recorded and posted in the members portal if for some reason you're not able to make them. Guys, if you're having issues signing up, post your name and number and email in the chat, please. It's private. It's not going to be shared with everyone, but we'll get it to our team to make sure you can get one of those 199 spots that we've opened up today.
All right, folks. So once again, I think more people are starting to get through, which is just great. And folks, once again, we do have, once we exit here, we've got your information here. We will share it with our sales team, and they'll give you a call. Let's see, I'm looking for some other, gosh, we've answered so many questions here, and it was a very comprehensive presentation. I want to make sure I don't overlook. Folks, we have so many comments here. If we didn't answer your question, if you don't mind, could you repost it? Because we literally have hundreds of comments here in the chat, and I want to make sure that we don't miss anything that was said. So if you don't mind, just repost your question.
Barbara got cut off from the call. We'll get you taken care of, Barbara. Raleigh, are you able to send the phone numbers and emails to Chuck's team? If so, I'll hook you up with that connection.
Yeah, I need that connection. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. We will get you guys taken care of. Again, I apologize. I know that we had so many people joining today. It seems like we had a little bit of a lag on the phone team or on the page. We got that all squared away now. You should be good to go. If you have any issues at all, just try again right now or give us a call, 828-318-8810. And again, post your name, number, and email in the chat if you had an issue and you'd like us to save one of your spots.
Chuck, some people may have not heard what you said initially, but did I hear you correctly that in most cases you issue those alerts sometime in the morning, and your recommendation would be to try to get in before the end of the closing of the market that day?
Yeah, that's a great point, Raleigh. This is not day trading. So if you're busy throughout the day, you can log on before the market close, get the trades, and put the trade in. And probably half the time, if you wait till the afternoon, you might even get a better entry price, depending on the market conditions. So you don't have to be glued to your computer. If you're busy, it's not urgent to take the trade the exact second that you receive it. This is position trading, and half the time if you wait a little bit, you'll even get a better entry price.
Sure.
Awesome. Here's a question from Ravon, and he had an error on his purchase, and the reason for the error was this transaction has been declined. So that's just a function of your bank declining the transaction. So you probably have to contact your bank and let them know that it's okay to process your credit card.
Awesome. These weren't rollover examples, guys. These were just straight up income trades. So if you want to use one of Chuck's rollover processes to bank maybe even bigger profits, he'll teach you how to do that too. But this is just a base gain. Awesome. Barbara, I'm not sure. Did you send your email or your phone number in here? I got your email. I apologize. I'm kind of scrambling here through the chat just to make sure that the team gets the
and I'll sift through it also, Graham.
Okay, cool.
To make sure that we've got everything covered too.
Awesome.
And Richfield says, I finally got through. I'm in for life. Thank you, Richfield. Thanks for
outstanding. That's great.
Thanks for your support.
That is great. Will this work in a volatile market? Mary's asking. Mary, to answer your question, actually, I should say over 20%. Do you guys remember what's happened in the markets over the last few weeks? Stocks have been crashing. Pulled out 9 winners during that stretch there, and that's just a handful of the examples there that you can see. So there, look at the exit dates. Right in the middle of March when things were ugly, but still a lot of opportunity there. So it actually is designed to work in very volatile markets. In fact, like Chuck showed you earlier, because of these special options that it's selecting, it's not normal options that most people are trading. Most people completely overlook them. But with these options, because they're so far down here, so far deep in the money, they're pretty hidden from most people. Stock can even fall, go against you. It can be crazy volatile, and in this case, still pay for you. So again, the cool thing about AutoStrike, it doesn't just give you the ticker. It doesn't just give you the options. It doesn't just give you the entry price, but it also shows you how far it could fall and still pay. So in this case, HWM could have fallen 11.7%. This is a really strong stock. It's been in a beautiful trend for a very long time. It's probably not going to fall that much, and that's why the win rate's so high. We'd have to go all the way down there for it to be a loser. In this case, that didn't happen. You would have had another winner, $1,225. Remember, guys, it gives you these options that have winning scenarios across the board, whether the stock's going up, whether it's flat or falling down. We want to see wins across the board. All green lights means that we have a high probability income opportunity. In this case, $1,691. That was probably one of the better returns there. It looks really, really awesome right now. So, guys, click that link in the chat to take one of the spots. And I know that we have a lot of spots filling up right now. Actually, I just heard from the team. It looks like about half the spots are already gone, guys. So again, we're only 30 minutes in here to signing up people, and half the spots are already gone. So guys, click that link in the chat. Be sure to join today and get the newest entry signals right away.
Yeah, some more questions coming up here. Are the losers 100% or less? Typically less, because once again, Chuck and his team in the system does a pretty good job of managing the losses in the event that opportunities turn against us. But there will be losing trades, but we look to, the system and Chuck's team looks to massage that so they minimize that.
And the cool thing here, guys, too, is that like Chuck isn't actually even handpicking these. He's built the system, but this system's able to go beyond what Chuck can do, beyond what his team can do, and find very rare needle in a haystack like opportunities in the options market because it automatically scans all the options out there. Chuck, I'm pretty quick with the computer, and I can probably scan 10 stocks options for the day, and then I'm out of time. This thing is doing all the stocks out there automatically. It's really, really sweet.
Yes. Yep. That's the whole idea, Graham.
It's the Chuck bot.
Yeah, it is the Chuck bot.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, the question here, are the losers 100% or less? And we will explain the stop loss rule that we have for these trades on Thursday's presentation in the live masterclass.
All right.
Awesome, guys. Well, I know Chuck still has a busy day ahead of him. I do too. I got to get back, see what's going on in the markets. It looks like stocks are popping right now.
Are they?
Up 1% across the board. Love to see it. Hopefully you guys are like some of the folks here who already signed up and got their trades on the board. You might be up a little bit already. Love to see it.
Yeah.
GR, it may be. You might think so, but that's why it works so well. It's part of the secret sauce. Based on the table, it ranges from down or up in prices. Does return stay the same as long as the price falls within the range? Simon, yes, until you get down to the break-even level, which is way, way, way below the price of a stock. And then that number, that percentage return will change.
Mm-hmm.
And Nathan says, do we get phone and email alerts? No, Nathan, this is not an alert service. This is a dedicated website. You simply log on to the website, and then you get the trades there, and you can decide which trades you would like to take.
Yeah, so you know that you can just check in at any point after we said about 11 a.m., roughly speaking, and that trade will be there for you, and you can take it during that day. And if you miss a day, no worries. Awesome. Well, guys, I appreciate you all joining us today. We had a great crowd, and I'm sure I'm excited to see what the new members have to say and what the feedback's like so far to get started with this. Obviously, this is a next level sort of tool here that selects the options for you, does all the scanning, all the hard work, all done for you. It's really, really awesome what you've done here, Chuck, and I'm excited to hear about the new trades and how they've gone.
Yes, yeah, it's great to be here today with you, Graham, and I'm really excited about this auto strike. It's literally the pinnacle of my trading career. And we were actually able to create a program that scans through millions of options to come up with a trade that meets our trade selection criteria. So very excited about this program going forward. And Graham, I appreciate you setting up this program so that we can tell folks about it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys all for tuning in today. I'm sure Raleigh will be hanging around to answer some questions that you might have.
Absolutely.
I'm very, very excited for this, Chuck. Again, it's something like I've never seen before. So I can't wait to get my hands on it and see today's new trades.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you, guys.
All right, folks, have a great day. Take care.
Thank you, Chuck. Thank you.
You guys so much for joining us today to talk about Chuck Hughes Auto Strike. If you guys came in late or missed any part of today's presentation, just go ahead and put your name and email in the chat for me, and we can go ahead and send you a replay. We were live on YouTube as well, so just go to our YouTube channel on Financial Wars. You'll see Graham's opening playbook. This presentation was entirely recorded on the latest session here. All right, so I will stick around in the chat here to answer your questions as well as to take your emails. Give me 1 second here. The average trade costs about $300 to $700 per trade on average. All right, fantastic. And just head on over to tradewins.com/199. If you are having trouble, I know Bill in the chat was saying he had some trouble. Just give our team a call, or you can drop your number in the chat for me and I can have our team reach out to you as well. Because we do only have limited spots left. Sometimes the website technology can't handle all of you guys all at once. All right, and sounds good, David. I will go ahead and send that over to the team. Not sure why the website looks like that for you, but I can go ahead and send that over to our team. All right, and Peter, let me go ahead and post the price one more time. So the pricing they went over today for the auto strike trading tool was 1 year for $18.95, 2 years for $22.95, and if you want a one-time lifetime price, it's $29.95. All right, and then Cheryl, what do you mean by the first choice? If you could just let me know that so I can get you the right answer there. Mike, what was the link to the recording? If you go to our YouTube channel, I believe it's Financial Wars. Let me see if I can grab that for you. 1 second. The first option for 1 year, that should be if you go to tradewins.com/199, that is the option. It's right underneath the order form. So as soon as you go there, it should look something like this. Let me pull it up. Should look something like this. And if you want to do the 1 or 2 year option, you do have to scroll down and they're right here. 1 and 2 years. There you go. And you'll see the numbers changing as well as the bottom there. Now this is the 1-2 year access. In order to do the lifetime, fill everything out, click submit. Another page will pop up asking if you wanted to just go ahead and do lifetime, one-time fee. No matter which one you choose, it does come to a grand total of $29.95 for lifetime all in. All right, fantastic, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Once more, let me post that YouTube link in here for you guys who wanted to watch the replay. You may have to skip through to the very end. This was a part of Graham's opening playbook this morning. We started around 10 or so, and then this presentation started around 11 o'clock. Fantastic, guys. Have a great rest of your day. I'll stick around in the chat here, and hopefully I'll see you in the next webinar.
Gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death its construction. In the fields of bodies burning, as the war machine keeps turning. Death and hatred to mankind, poisoning their brainwashed minds. Oh, Lord, yeah. Darkness world stops turning, ashes where the body's burning. No more war pigs have the power, and as God has struck the hour, day of judgment God is calling. On the knees the war pigs crawling, begging mercies for the sins. Satan laughing spreads his wings. Oh!